Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray.
Hello.
I'm also here with James Farley.
Hey.
And I'm also here with Sean Bloody Bell. He's back. Right. He's back. How you doing, man?
Not forever. I'm all right. I'm like permanently fucked, but I'm all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen. I want to get something out of the way because how long's it been since you were last on the show? What, 3 months, 4 months?
It's been 2 months.
3 months, yeah.
3 months. I just want to get one quick thing out of the way before we get into catching up with you. I assume you've been listening to the show. Have you? Have you caught up with all the plot lines?
I haven't. I'm not listening to anything, man. I don't know. Podcasting's one of those things I've just not. I don't know. Just totally fallen away from it.
That's rude.
Yes,
I mean, you have gone back to work, haven't you, Sean?
I have gone back to work.
So, and how have you been getting to work?
Walking.
But presumably there is time there to listen to it.
Well, it's only like a 10-minute walk, and I'm weird about wearing headphones in public. For some reason.
Oh, really?
It's like broad daylight. It's like, no, definitely going to get knifed.
Jesus,
Sean, don't worry about it, because, I don't listen back to this, even though I'm on it. I still don't listen back to it, so I wouldn't worry about
that's
it.
just it, is that, with Games Podcast, I joked about this on, I can't remember if it was on this or Midnight Resistance, where I was like, well, I'm on all the games shows that I like, so I don't really...
Yeah, but what if you
I never had to actually sit and listen to him.
James, if there was a video of yourself falling flat on your face in the middle of a dance floor in front of everyone and everyone started laughing, you wouldn't watch that again, would you? So it's understandable why you wouldn't listen to the podcast, really. I have got a confession to make, though, Sean, and a bit of an apology. What if I was to tell you that someone got in contact with the show offering you something pretty damn cool, and knowing that you wouldn't see it, I sort of stepped in and said I'd take it?
I'd be pretty fucking annoyed. Why?
Well, I wouldn't do that to you because you're a friend. Matt Murray, however...
Okay. I know what it is.
So I got a DM, a notification on my phone today, linked to the Computer Game Show Twitter account, that said, "Okay, mate, no worries, yeah, I'll send it out to you. Can I have your address?"
Yes, right.
And then when I went to the DM, I'll tell you in a minute, when I went to the DM, it was Matt's address was there. And I was like, what the fuck? So I scrolled up, and it was Matt saying, "Hi, I know I'm not the main one, and I noticed no one responded, but I'll take it." And I thought, what?
Exactly.
So I went to this guy's profile.
I left it all
let me finish the story.
I assumed you've seen it, and I thought, well,
finish the story. I went to the guy's profile, I looked at what he tweeted us, and it's saying, "Hey, I'll send the main one a box of Mario cereal."
What the hell?
I know.
And he just came in and just nabbed it without saying anything.
He fucking did. He didn't turn around.
But Dave, I knew you checked emails or saw you would have seen a direct message. So I thought, well, you haven't bothered to respond.
You thought, James doesn't care, so he's not going to...
Right, no, okay. First of all...
If you log into Twitter, James, you can see the message as well. It's not like it's my account.
First of all, he offered it to me, right?
Have you missed this,
James,
Sean?
I can understand you being upset that it wasn't offered out to everyone else, right? But it was, "Hey, I'll send you this," right? It was directed at me. Secondly, Matt, when you saw that, didn't you say, "Dave, you got a pretty cool offer there if you want to take it," like I've done for you? I've seen emails.
I assumed you would have seen it, and I thought, well, weird you haven't responded, but I might as well get on this.
Weird he hasn't responded, but instead of asking him about it, I'll just nip in. Unbelievable.
I just felt bad for the guy, and I thought, well,
Do you know who I feel bad for? Offer. I feel bad for my son because someone has literally stolen food from his mouth. Literally.
Actually, Dave, I actually agree with you on this. I think this is absolutely shocking.
Hang on. I was going to write down. I'll need to check the message I wrote, but I was going to write. Don't worry about it. I will send the rest of the half-eaten box over to Dave. I guess I didn't put it in.
with the amiibo bit.
That sounds really weird.
Matt doesn't even hardly know who Mario is.
Yes, he's the green one. Jesus. Yeah, no, I didn't write that because it sounded weird when I wrote it down. But I was going to say, don't worry, I'll send Dave on the rest of them. But then that sounded even weird. I was like, I was going to have 2 bowls worth, and then I'll pass them down. Then I thought, hang on, do I really want it for the cereal, or do I want it for the Instagram picture? It's mostly for the Instagram picture.
You fucking cunt!
That's even worse. That is even worse. I thought you were at least going to have some dignity and say, "Oh, it's for the amiibo stuff or whatever."
Oh,
but it's like that. It's just for the engagement.
Matt Murray.
Dave, I will send it on. I'll take a picture and I won't even open the box. How about that?
It's disgraceful. This is absolutely disgraceful.
Like, Dave, it's your responsibility to check the mentions as well.
Matt,
you didn't.
Matt,
I did.
I can't keep checking the Twitter. I've taken a step back from Twitter. I'm not all over Twitter at the moment. I don't check things like that anymore, especially...
bollocks.
I swear, I don't.
No. I do know you've taken a step back somewhat, but...
Don't you think I would have, like...
Hang on.
Said anything?
I want to know what other stuff that he's had from this.
I know.
Is this other stuff we missed? And there's been, like, the PSVR, all that stuff. Is that all?
I mean,
just like...
how do you think I was able to afford, the Xbox One X? I mean, it doesn't come... Someone said, any of you guys want Xbox One X? It was from Major Nelson. I was like, Major? No one else responded. I'll take it. Did not see it.
It is bad. And
it's disgusting.
No, James,
not disgusting.
It looks really
tasty.
isn't it? I like it.
It looks really tasty.
It was part of me thinking, like, it's not only that, but I didn't want it for me. I wanted it for my 3-year-old son. And
I don't want it for me either. I want it for the engagement.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a selfless act, Dave. Come on.
Look, I'm thinking about the brand, Dave. I don't think you're worried about the brand.
I hope you get 0 likes or whatever it is on fucking Instagram. Like, that is just absolutely disgraceful. Please,
can you
expose Matt.
Can you report an Instagram picture if it depicts a crime?
Inappropriate content. Yeah. Stolen.
Anyway, I'm very, very much looking forward to receiving a box. Matt is.
I'm asking everyone who sees Matt's post on Instagram of that box to hashtag underneath it, comment on it, theft. That's all you've got to do. Theft. Call him.
I wasn't going to do it on my own. I was going to do it on the computer game show one.
This is a.
Well, I could have done that.
Oh, okay. Well, you can have the box of cereal then, mate. If you're not bothered.
I'm not that bothered.
You sound like you're bothered.
My son.
There was all the stuff with the whiskey, and now there's this.
Oh shit! Yeah. Matt's a fucking thief.
I almost spilled my beer in. Okay, right, yeah, I do. There is a bit of a... a track record or whatever. There's a bit of a history now.
Matt, have you played Edith Finch, the game that James so nicely bought?
Not yet.
Oh, for fuck!
I will do, because I'm going to, but I haven't done it up to now, but I'm going to have to before next week's show.
Well. We've all learned something about Matt Murray today, haven't we?
Well,
it's disgusting.
I mean,
James, look, I love you now. We're friends now.
Oh, you two friends? You bonded with us, have you? Just because you can be bothered to respond to a listener's tweet, I've had the decency to respond. Anyway, Matt, thanks for the tweet.
Cut us out of it. It's just.
You can have some, James. If you log in with Twitter and you can look at the app mentions, you can also get yourself a box. But
you must have done this pretty smartish, because I only noticed.
Hardly. I left it the entire weekend. The guy tweeted last week.
Why didn't you say something to me? Like, Dave, someone's trying to give you a box.
I don't know, actually. I just thought, he hasn't. And I saw it today. I was like, oh shit, I better respond because I feel bad.
You fucking cunt.
That's terrible. Especially, I mean, look, consider what happened today, Dave. We got an email offering us something, and I saw it first, and I thought, I think David would prefer that.
Yeah.
So I sent him an email and said, do you want it? And he was like, yeah, I'll have it, thanks.
And I've done the same for you,
great,
right? When there's been games been offered and I kind of think, that's more James's thing, I'll offer it. We're like that, aren't we? We're quite good with that sort of stuff. Yeah. I mean, you did take the piss, like, reviewing every first-person shooter towards the end of the year.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that is mental, James. And you've called me disgusting.
We did discuss that, but,
it's... we did, so I'll let you off.
There were reasons, I believe.
In the beginning. Anyway, Sean's back. Hi, Sean. I bet you missed this.
Nothing's changed.
Great. Yeah. Love it.
Come on then. Right, let's get the dad stuff out of the way. I mean, how are you finding it?
It's the hardest thing I've ever done, but also the most worthwhile, isn't it? I think it did help massively, like, having you lot be really honest about how shit it is at times. Yeah. Because
not a lot of that about, is there really?
No, it is fucking shocking how little, like, people are willing to be honest about that, I think.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, when in the early days of Elodie, and I was saying, it is fucking awful, and people looked at me like, oh, that's not very nice. But I was like, why is no one else being real about this? This isn't all great.
Yeah, and I think that's really harmful to not be able to be honest about it. Like, I think so major hurdles were like, so you guys all know, you go into it like you've got things planned out, like, oh yeah, we're gonna like just breastfeed, we're not going to use bottles. They say like you shouldn't use dummies, never going to use a dummy, stuff like that. And then like by the end of week 1, that's all gone out the window. Yeah. Like breastfeeding, like we went to breastfeeding classes, and they were like, they explained all the benefits, which I'm sure are totally valid. But then what they don't say is like, oh, by the way, you might find this really horrible and upsetting and difficult. Like, they just don't mention that. And like by like night 2, we were nearly having a breakdown because he just wasn't getting enough milk.
And because they always do that kind of like, it's very like all or nothing kind of thing, isn't it? And it's which is complete bottles. It's not like that.
Acknowledge that combi feeding is a thing, because that's what we do now, and he's absolutely fine. He's fucking massive, so I'm pretty sure he's getting enough. Perfect prep machine. Thank you, Dave.
It's good, isn't it?
Second night at home, that like literally that stopped us throwing him out the window. Like it was
Jesus Christ! Oh come on, it's a wonderful experience. That thing's just amazing from a nerd level, because it's like just a cool gadget that works really, really well. Makes you feel really smug. And B, it saves you so much time fucking around, like people putting it in saucepans and shit. Fuck that.
Yeah, I really wanted one of them things, but Jill said no.
Why did Jill say no?
Well, she didn't trust it.
Well, because we had, the first few days we had people. So for those who don't know, like the help you get is amazing, right? The amount of it, like, people are willing to just come out and see you, like the first couple of days, like midwives, people from the breastfeeding team, stuff like that. The only problem is they all give you like slightly different advice.
Yeah.
So you have to like see as many people as you can and then ignore like 75% of what each person says. Yeah. But yeah, like several of them, we mentioned that, like, like if we are struggling, we are falling back on the perfect prep machine. And 2 of them were like, bin it, get rid of it.
What?
And it's like, are you fucking joking? Like,
this is the best thing ever. This is saved our marriage.
Was one of them trying to do like, that they were like chucking holy water around on a cross, like, get out of this house?
Well, that's just it, yeah, because one of them was like, she said, everything you do with the baby should be as natural as possible. And, is it any wonder that they have trouble feeding when we do, when we interfere with the birth process so much? It's like, well, if you hadn't have interfered with mine, either my baby or my wife would have died. So...
Yeah, I hate the fact that they may feel guilty for like the slightest thing, like, well, breastfeeding is the best, but well, it's a nightmare and we can't. Well, okay, but you really should try it.
Oh, we didn't think of that, did we?
And it's like, I understand trying it. I understand they probably don't want to scare people off, but again, I think it's more harmful to not be realistic about it, because there's so many, like, we've spoken to so many parents who are just like, yeah, we tried it and it was awful, so fuck it.
We did a lot of things like where we went back on it, but compared to what we were saying, do you think, was it as hard as... Not was it as hard. Did we really explain well how bad it can be?
I think, like...
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's...
So...
Did you feel it was worse than you thought it was going to be, or...
I think nothing can prepare you for, like, a 90-minute screaming session, Like, there's... you can't, like, mad. Even just saying it, that sort... there's no way of doing it justice, and there's no way of explaining quite what that does to your head, because it's not just listening to screaming for 90 minutes. It's your child, who you love more than anything in the world, looking at you in the eye and being like, why the fuck have you done this? Like, this is awful. Everything you do either doesn't help or possibly makes it worse. And it's that. Yeah, it's like it's fucking torture.
It's the self-doubt, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like
it's the self-doubt. It's like I'm the reason why this baby's crying, even though that's probably not. Although I will say that I think Matt was probably a little bit prepared for the 90 minutes of screaming, because 90 minutes of screaming, 90 minutes of Palace is
Hey!
I don't know what's worse.
It's disgusting, Dave.
But yeah, like for every evening where he's a fucking nightmare, you get like 2 or 3 where he just falls asleep on you and you play 4 hours of Destiny 2.
Oh, it's so good.
Like he's getting to the age now where he can actually play with him a bit, and he's reacting to things, and he's looking, and he's like making noises at you and giggling, and so yeah.
What's his light level, Sean?
Light level one.
I will say I miss those times when I was happy knowing that Joe was sleeping in the other room, and I was just in the front room with him asleep on my chest and sitting playing a game. That stuff was amazing.
Those are good days.
I was going to say, I assume that goes right out the window by sort of year 1 or
2. I'd say probably 2 is when it goes a bit fucking mental.
It's when they start to be able to like move with their own ability, and it becomes more of a problem.
You see, the thing,
start grabbing stuff, and
the thing with Isaac is it's like he thinks he should be able to get about now. Like
and then he gets frustrated.
Yeah, like he's just sitting there, just fucking kicking, and his arms are going, and he's just like, why can't I fucking run out of this house? So he just gets pissed off, and then you're like, okay, maybe he wants, because they say like if they're doing that, maybe like try putting them on their belly, like they won't be able to get anywhere, but just give it a go, and they start getting used to it. Now you put him on his belly, and he just starts screaming at you. So, all right, sorry.
I do have one more question before we move on, and I promise you we'll get onto computer games soon. Have you had your one sort of angry, frustrated, like, what's the...
Oh, yeah.
Right,
like...
let me explain. My brother punched through a drywall at one point. No, it was a wardrobe. But he punched through the door of a wardrobe because he was so angry at one point. I stormed into the front room. Harry wasn't in it. I stormed into the front room and just booted over a high chair because I was just so fucking pissed off. I promise you he wasn't in it. What was your moment?
I've not had anything like that yet. There's definitely been a few moments where I've had to just put him down on the sofa and just walk out of the room and like shut the door. Because and again, it sounds awful, but it's not anger at the kid, it's anger at yourself, isn't it? It's like, why can't I fix this? He's suffering, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Sean, just don't do what I did. I took up smoking. And
I just took it up.
There's been a couple of times where Noo's been like, if you fucking gave me a cigarette now, that'd be it. Like,
game over.
Meanwhile, Sean is at the window, like just wafting it away, like, sorry, what? Oh yeah, definitely not me.
Yeah. Matt's was when he stormed out and literally stole candy from a baby.
I mean, I was so angry, I was about to apply for a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was like, I've got to get this anger out somehow, and I'm not an angry person, so it was like a genuinely weird feeling I haven't had in forever. And I was like, maybe I'll just join like a class I can like punch someone to death. I don't know, but it calmed down.
It would look better in court if we were supposed to be like learning martial arts. It looks more like an
exactly. Yeah, I can get away with more. Like, oh, sorry, officer, I was so good at this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu stuff.
I didn't know my own strength.
Yeah, he's dead.
Right, okay, that's enough. Sorry for putting you all through that for everyone that doesn't care. But we're
I was going to say, right, so I've been away for 3 months.
Yeah.
And this show has grown week on week since it started. There's going to be a lot of people.
Better than ever.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people listening to this. Like, who the fuck even is this? Why is he doing on my show?
This is Sean Bell. He was here just before. It was
just before we blew up.
It wasn't years ago. Just
before we got big and good.
And he went off.
It's like when what's his name left the Mannix. No,
you're on your own there, son. Right. Okay. So, should we do follow up from last week? Let's do that.
We should. Yeah.
We've got it's not a totally different show. We're going to do the normal format, but after the news, we've got the draft. And for those of you that weren't with us last year and don't know how we do Game of the Year, we all pick 4 games. We put them together into a list of 16 games. And then next week, so this week, we will just be naming our games. We won't be talking about and discussing them. We won't be anything like we won't putting forward any arguments, nothing. Next week, they all go into a pot and we draw them out and they face off against each other in a sort of tournament tree. And then there will be one winner. We all have to vote on who goes to the next round and so on and so forth. This week, we're picking those games. And we'll probably do that after the news. But first, feedback.
Yeah, starting with Tetsuya. So good to hear Captain Toss is back for a short while. Hope you're enjoying being a father, Sean. Did you know you were the glue that kept the team together? It's fallen apart since you left. To entertaining results, it lacks a level head now.
I've missed you, Sean, so much. It's been fucking awful just having these two.
What's been the worst bit?
Why? Well, no, because it's like there's no counters, is there? It's just me against you two, and it's just been.
But I said Sean never really defended you.
No, but he would sometimes just like calm the argument a bit and just like.
No, he's like the next door cat. He's always sat on the fence. He's just, Sean's like, maybe.
And he turned on you in the 50% argument. Do you remember that? The 50%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shocking.
I'm not saying 50%. You just said it, James. A little bit of nostalgia for you there, listener.
Forgotten about that, Sean.
Go on.
SMW, Dave is spot on about Wolfenstein not providing clear feedback for a successful shot. So that's something you mentioned not being a fan of last week, Dave, on Wolfenstein. SMW continues saying it made the demo feel terrible and it stopped him picking it up. I mean, I know what you're saying, SMW, but my God, yeah, it is well worth picking up, even if it doesn't have that feedback and the shooting isn't great. It's absolutely worth playing.
Have you played it, Sean?
I haven't.
Okay.
It's one of the many games this year that I'm like probably would be on the GOTY list if I'd actually got around to it. But,
yeah, I mean, from what I've played, I've really enjoyed it. I mean, I haven't played any more since last week. I don't think there's a reason for that, but we'll get to that. But yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that really sticks out for me. You don't know when you're hitting things, and that is really strange in this day and age. It's obviously the design choice; they want it to be like that. But I remember Killzone being like that, and I was kind of like, actually, I need a little bit of feedback to know that something's happening. And I just come off the back of Call of Duty, which
Killzone
gives a
Shadowfall
ridiculous
combat seemed better than this.
I'd agree.
Although it was a long time ago, so who knows?
Yeah, that's true. But you had that
Ben
thing-
Naylor, listening to the latest episode, is James seriously arguing that playing Beyond Two Souls for an hour a week stopped him being able to play Destiny 2?
Okay, so the thing is about this is that
Reasons.
I played it for, first of all, I played it for longer than an hour each time, but also playing that game honestly made me not want to play any more games. After playing that, I really did not want to play any more games. I used to come home and think, I've got to play Beyond Two Souls. And then I just thought, I don't want to play any other games at all. So that is the reason. And now that I'm not playing it, I feel a lot happier with life. So it's good.
Still haven't had an invite to play Destiny, though. Okay.
That's incoming, but go on.
Oh, are you sending an invite now?
Right at this moment, yeah.
Junkyard Gary Disco, Gary Doon, obviously on Twitter. Based on Farley's QT incompetence, referring obviously to your Beyond Two Souls skills in inverted commas, you should set him a David Cage challenge where he has to open a gauntlet of menial tasks in real life, like set a time limit to open a front door, open a wine bottle, open a pickle jar, change a light bulb, change a bed sheet, etc. I mean, this sounds like a brand new YouTube series that can go viral, big style, James.
No, I'm not doing that. But yeah. But it's not a bad idea. But it's just because those games are awful at that kind of stuff, and yeah, it's
what do you get? What do you find awful about? And like, they're not particularly taxing.
No, okay, they are though, Matt. Because the ones, especially the Beyond Two Souls ones, what's really annoying about that is that because I played it from week to week, I often forgot the controls. That's my fault. But you've done the same with Dark Souls as well. So you know,
one's pressing one button, the other one's learning a whole new combat system. James,
yeah,
I don't believe
one of the hardest games of all time. The other one is Dark Souls. So.
I don't believe anyone had as much trouble as you did with the controls in both Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. You were embarrassingly bad at those games.
I told you I was under pressure because there's people watching, and also like the thing with Beyond Two Souls is that at least with Heavy Rain it gave you prompts as to what to do. There's no prompts in Beyond Two Souls.
No, we're talking about so obvious. It goes into slow motion, and there's a leg flying at you, and it tells you what to do right.
There was also. I mean, with Heavy Rain, I did have a slight excuse, which you did pick up on, was the fact that I wasn't very, very used to the DualShock, because I've been playing on Xbox for like a long time, and it took me a while to kind of get used to it.
But it didn't need that for the door, though.
No, that's true.
No buttons for the door.
That was ridiculous, though. I mean, it was insane, like what you had to do for that. I mean, and why? It didn't add anything to the game apart from making me feel just really angry and desperate.
Because no one else had that much trouble opening that door ever
it wasn't
in the history
moment.
of that game.
You know, James, for everyone else, there isn't such a thing as door boss. Like, that was, for you, it was like a cutscene. For everyone else, it's just like a 1 second thing that they've forgotten about.
It was embarrassing, and I admit that.
Everyone, do you remember the door bit? What door bit? Do you remember the door bit? No, there was no door bit. No, the door bit is massive. It's a huge part of Heavy Rain. No,
You just missed James turned into a politician for a second then. He went, it was embarrassing. And what did you say? It was embarrassing and what?
I admit that. Yeah.
That was it. It was embarrassing and I admit that.
This is a full and frank apology. You know?
Yes.
God. Go on.
Last thing is from Stansel. Discussion on the Joy-Con IR on the show last week got me thinking about potential Wii emulation, especially Galaxy. But obviously the Wii controllers had them on both Wiimotes, didn't they?
Yeah, but you only used one Wiimote, didn't you? Like in one hand.
Yeah,
the other was
the
the
Wiimote and nunchuck.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, the main thing missing there is you'd need the fucking sensor bar, wouldn't you?
We could just use a candle. But wasn't that why
you could just use 2 candles.
Yeah. Or 4 candles.
Literally all the sensor, because sensor bar is a misnomer. It's literally just a bar with 2 fucking LED lights in it.
We heard it. Go on.
Okay. That's it for follow-up. If you want to tweet us, it's at ComputerGamePod on Twitter or email thecomputergameshow@gmail.com.
Time for the news.
Okay, so there's 2 major things for the news this week, but they're kind of similar, but one of them's really rubbish and the other one's less rubbish, but it's still interesting. So first of all, we got the Game Awards, which was...
Is that the rubbish one or the good one?
No, this is the good one, actually.
Yeah, it's the good one, because Joseph Fares was there. Joseph Fares, king of computer games now. King of computer games.
My absolute man crush.
Yeah.
But what was all that stuff? Because I saw Andy Hamilton tweeting about how it was all faked and everything. Is that
my
real?
good God, that was infuriating, and I didn't want to get into a discussion with Andy on Twitter about it, but that was fucking...
Is this why you've been Twitter off, Dave?
That's
one of the reasons. Yeah, it's one of the reasons.
Yeah, reason, to be fair.
So there was a bit of backlash from certain characters and the Computer Game Show presenters towards Joseph Fares. And for those of you that didn't see the Game Awards, Joseph Fares is the director of what's it called? A Way Out?
A Way Out.
Which is the split screen co-op action game that we saw at E3 last year. And we were sort of talking the guy up. He come out and he seemed completely overwhelmed and he didn't really keep to a script or anything. And he just seemed really genuinely enthusiastic. It was lovely. And they brought him on to talk to Jeff Keighley and show a new trailer of the game. To which Joseph Fares went mental and started just screaming "fuck the Oscars" over and over again, flipping the bird to the screen and just talking bollocks before showing his thing. And it was wonderful. It was a masterpiece. I love the man. And Andy said, "Oh, it was all set up by EA." And I was like, what's this all about? And he said it was all in a PDF. It leaked online. Do you know? So basically, there was an internal PDF. It's obviously not been confirmed it's real, but it's been treated as real, so let's say it is, where it was going through all EVA's games and positives to them and things that they should focus on in terms of marketing and what the reaction to the announcements have been like and so on and so forth. And one of them was A Way Out, and it said, people seem to like Joseph Fares with his enthusiasm, with like they seem to like him as a personality, and they said pros about that is that he seems relatable and people like him. Cons, that he might say something controversial. That's all it said. It didn't say we are going to script out what he says.
Okay. Yeah, but is that like, and he's a bit controversial, so watch out on the night? I don't know.
I think they're genuinely worried that he's going to come out and say something like EA fucked up with the loot boxes. I thought
Jeff Keighley looked very uncomfortable.
I know, it's beautiful.
Yeah, but he did for most of the show.
That was my favourite bit. He was kind of like, he kept putting his hand up, like to say stop, and then he said something like, he said, "Sorry, I'm taking a bit of time." Joseph Fares said, "Oh, sorry, I'm taking too much time here," and he said, No, we've got loads of time, right? No, that was it. No, we've got a long show ahead of us. Right, so he said, "Oh, good," and then started chatting again. And then Jeff Keighley mumbled to himself, "Well, there's lots of people that we need to get to." It was like he didn't have the chutzpah to cut him off.
There's lots of you're ruining my show. You're ruining my play. This is my show.
Here's the one thing that I'll say for the people that don't like Joseph Fares and didn't like what he did at the Video Game Awards. And if you haven't seen it, definitely go to YouTube and search for it, because you've got to watch it, right? If you don't like him, and if you're getting angry at him, and if you think go back and watch the E3 Sony conference again. That's what you deserve. You deserve a guy to come out like a robot in a suit, spout bollocks, and watch trailers. That's what you deserve. For once, we've got a guy that seems to love doing what he's doing and has a hint of foul director behind him. You know, when he clearly was pissed off that something went wrong at the Oscars and none of his feature
that was the
films
funny
made
thing,
it.
wasn't it? When he was like, I don't want to talk about that.
Well, why bring it up then and shout "fuck the Oscars" over and over? I don't care. Characters like him, we need more of that. We need more of that.
Why would people hate on this guy? He's an enthusiastic character that we need, right?
I don't get it. Sean, I bet you don't like him.
I've not even. I mean, I haven't seen a bit. From what you've described, the "fuck the Oscars" bit sounds a bit juvenile, but
yeah, it seems juvenile. But don't we need a little bit of that in what we're watching? Because otherwise, we're going to get.
I know what you mean.
I
know
pie charts and. What was it that guy said at the E3?
I was just trying to find my notes about we've got some incredible. We've had some incredible synergy with our third-party collaborators.
I know.
Incredible. Oh yeah.
Yeah, fuck that.
Bollocks.
Get this guy on and get him pumped. And if that encourages more of that shit at these things, then all the better for it. It's more fun. I don't like. I'm genuinely like the guy. I think he's good, and I'm sure there's some. No, I'm not even going to say it, but like I do worry about fully promoting the man. But I think we need more of this sort of shit. It's exciting.
So yeah, I mean that was one of the high points of the show. I thought it was good. I kind of enjoyed that. Did any of you watch all of it? Matt, did you see it?
Sorry, I've just found my notes from. This is what you either have Joseph Fares or you have a guy. I can't remember the guy's name, but the one looks like it's from the Mafia. You'll see tonight the Worldwide Studios is bringing the exclusives you want, and through a strategic partnerships with third-party partners, PlayStation is home to all the biggest and best franchises in the world.
Yeah, that's Andy. Andy's sitting there going, "Woo!"
saying,
"Yeah, conventional, woo!" Go on, what were you saying? Go on, James, we cut you off.
Yeah, I mean, actually, overall though, I quite enjoyed the show. I mean, I watched the entire thing later, which was a bit odd because this is the first one I've watched all the way through. But they had a really good selection of stuff, and I thought that Jeff Keighley had actually done a reasonably good job. But
take the piss out of the bloke as much as you want. He's doing well out there, isn't he? What he's putting together is pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, like the live orchestra stuff was pretty good. I mean, Persona 5 got robbed, with that, but it was still really good. But the worst thing about it, though, was the sponsorship stuff. Did you see any of that?
No, I didn't actually.
Because it was the worst thing about it because it was so crass, like in places. And I mean, the intention here obviously is that Jeff Keighley clearly does want this to become something which is like the Oscars, like a big kind of thing. Everyone's wearing suits, the whole thing. They got those hideous statues. But no, because they're trying to do something serious. But then the trouble is they had like stuff like the orchestra. They had these like really good presentations of stuff. They had these good like trailers they showed off. And then suddenly Jeff Keighley would be like, and just remember, you can get this voucher to download this whatever, or remember you can use Uber Eats to get your McDonald's while you're watching this and stuff. And it just felt really odd.
The Oscars, they're raking money in. So I mean, how's Jeff Keighley supposed to do it without
but they can still do it without slipping it into the show like that. I mean, they had this another woman. can't remember what her name was. Like they kept cutting to her at different points and saying, "And this is the eBay deal we're doing right now. Like you can go on eBay and download. You can get like this for like cheaper or whatever."
Yeah, but
and it just felt really crass.
You cannot compare it to the Oscars.
No, I know you can't at this stage, but there's still like a tone to this. Like I still wouldn't want. If it was me running this and I was trying to make this something which had like a bit of class and it was like trying to be something like better, having all those like offers and stuff like keeps like stuck into it was horrible. Here's what
I think. If you were running it and trying to run it like that, it wouldn't last more than a year because you'd make a fucking massive loss.
Yeah, maybe so, but it's still.
Oh, right, that's great.
No,
great work from James.
There's a way. No, David, there's a way of doing adverts. Like, you don't have to just keep having them pop up and sort of trying to integrate it into it. It was awful.
Well,
David.
you do if you're
really
getting
awful.
paid a lot more money to do that shit.
Yeah, I know, but it's still. There's ways that you can do this. You don't have to.
How do you know there's ways you can do this? How do you know?
Because other things do it in different ways. That's why.
For example, what?
Okay, when you're watching, here's an example. If you're watching, football, right? If you're watching it on TV, they go back to, half time or whatever, right? And there's sponsorship that's going on. But then when, the hosts, they're, looking at the game and seeing what's going on, they don't just suddenly stop and say stuff like, oh, and, while you're watching this, if you buy a packet of Walkers, you can get, a free football or whatever. They don't, stick that kind of stuff into it.
Right, let me ask you two questions. Really? First of all, are you seriously comparing football, one of the biggest
it's just an example of the ways that you can do it in a different way.
Yes, but football is quite a lucrative product.
Yes, of course, football is quite a lucrative thing, but you can still do this in a slightly more classy way. It was so crass, David.
Like football. Football is classy when it comes to advertising.
Well, hang on, but now you're arguing that that obviously football's so big they can do whatever they want. With this, you can still do it in a way that is just less crass.
You have no idea that they can do it in a way that's less crass and still maintain a budget to be able to afford the stuff that they put on. You know that, right? You know that. Yeah,
of course I know that. It's just that I just feel the way it was presented was poor. Like the way they did that.
James, anyway, you started off by saying how much you liked it.
I did like it, but the only thing I didn't. Oh, for fuck's sake! The only thing I didn't like about it was the constant just sponsorship stuff all the time. Right. It's not the fact that I know that they have to do this because obviously they're raking in cash from it, but there's ways of doing it without it being so just feeling so greasy.
This may be totally unfair. If we've got any American listeners, probably not. But if we have, be keen to hear what you think. No, I'm not about to be racist or anything.
I think
God! Sean, Sean's a racist dad. Oh god!
This used to be the Spike Video Game Awards. Yeah, I presume you guys watched it.
Yeah.
And I remember, the adverts being horrific on that, and basically Americans tweeting "Mate, this is just what our television's like." That's just how much more advertising American TV and ad breaks every 10 minutes and stuff. And you're like, oh yeah, now that I think about it, whenever I watch TV, American TV shows, there's just these weird cuts and then it just carries on. It's that's supposed to be an ad break.
Yeah, I remember watching when American kids TV first started coming out over here, there was that weird moment where you'd be watching it and you'd see a scene and then it would fade to black and then you'd see that end of the scene again. And then it would continue. And you'd go, why have they just done that? And it was obviously, didn't know at the time that, that's where the adverts are in America.
Yeah.
It's weird. Because wasn't it? It was 3 ad breaks in fucking half an hour, wasn't it? Whereas over here, it was one.
I remember one time I watched a show where they had the opening title sequence and then an advert break. It was how long was that?
They used to do that all the time.
Title sequence.
Yeah, when we first went to America and watched TV over there, we settled down, watched the intro, and then it went to an ad, and we were like, what the fuck? Although it's getting bad over here, especially for football, James, where in half-time between Man City and Man United yesterday, they had a break when it went to half-time, they had analysis with a break, then they had more analysis with another break, and then the second half started. There's 15 minutes between the first and second half. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
But at least it's with that, if you're having ad breaks, at least it's clearly saying, okay, this is adverts or whatever. This was just Jeff Keighley just kept on trying to plug McDonald's and stuff during the show.
Maybe he just really likes McDonald's, James.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, at any point they say, wow, it looks like a great game, but have you ever thought of building a website? Well, with Squarespace.com, you can.
Jeff Keighley, buy a fucking mattress.
Yeah, Lisa.com.
Right, okay, enough of that. Right, so you enjoyed the awards. Were there any standout awards that were given out that you thought was bullshit or what?
I thought the winners were all pretty good, man.
Yeah, I was happy with both of that. I mean, I was unhappy about Persona 5 getting robbed, but
what was the Persona 5 one?
It was for the soundtrack. It didn't.
No, it didn't get robbed. It got soundly beaten by the correct game.
Have you played Persona 5, Sean?
No, and I've no interest in it.
Yeah, well, you don't know what you're talking about.
Hold on, what game won? Was it Hellblaze?
Nier Automata.
Oh, Nier Automata. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, well.
Most of the awards were pretty good. I mean, I wasn't unhappy with any of them really. I mean, but it was most of the. Go on, Sean.
I was going to say, obviously, Zelda got the biggies, but Game of the Year and Best. I don't know what the difference between Game of the Year and Best Game Direction is.
Yeah.
But whatever. What Remains of Edith Finch got Best Narrative. That was cool.
Yeah.
Cuphead got Best Art Direction. I'm just reading them all out now. I'm going to stop. But yeah, lots of really worthy winners. It was nice.
But there were quite a lot of good trailers as well. Like they showed off a lot of stuff that looked really cool. I mean, they had From Software had that tease, didn't they? Where it just said Shadows die twice, but I don't know what.
Bloodborne 2, innit?
You think so?
Yeah.
Is Shadows a reference to Bloodborne or what? No. Was that just a guess?
I don't think so. But Shadows died twice. I mean, yeah.
No, go on.
The second Bloodborne game, and they're basically the trailer depict.
Oh.
No, it's have you not seen the teaser?
No, I haven't.
Basically, all it is like a close up of some
penis.
Sort of bony
penis.
If this is what your penis looks like, Matt, I'm very sorry.
It's fine. Doctor says it's fine.
Basically like this sort of bony contraption with all chains and blood on it.
Sounds like a penis to me.
So I was just thinking about Matt's penis. But yeah,
it just looks like a trick weapon from Bloodborne. So I reckon it's Bloodborne 2, which is fine. I still want to see him do something new, unless it's a new Armored Core, in which case.
Yeah, because the Armored Core thing was interesting, because they actually mention that. Did they officially mention that in the week leading up to this, saying it's not dead, or was that a rumor?
Yeah, they've made some weird comment, and also this week there's an Armored Core PlayStation 4 theme for no reason.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on there. But yeah.
So with that, then there was In the Valley of the Gods, which was a new Campo Santo game. So
I've not seen the trailer of that, but I'm obviously going to be interested in that because Firewatch had its moments and it had its problems, but it was still well worthy of a play. So I'm interested.
What I'm really intrigued. I don't know if you know the setup of Valley of the Gods, but basically you're going through an old Egyptian pyramid, and you're filming a documentary. It's set in the 20s, 30s, a long time ago anyway. And you're filming a documentary on it, basically. And apparently, at the end of the game, you watch the documentary you made. Well, I don't know how much. Actual input you get into it, but
it'd be pointless if it was just if it was just a video of everything that happened. But
it's great feature. At the end, you watch a cutscene.
Right. Okay.
So we had that, and then also they revealed the Breath of the Wild DLC, and
this is weird.
Because wasn't it supposed to come out later in the year, but then they just dropped it there and then.
This is the second one, isn't it? So the second one was always supposed to come out at the end of this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought.
So we had this, and there's Link's got a motorbike, which was
I'm not a fan of that.
Why?
It's just weird, isn't it? I have a motorbike.
It's a bit silly, but I'm all
right. But I mean, surely they're in. As I've used this before, but surely they're in, comic relief territory for that game.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, look, all bets are off now, let's fuck about.
All bets are off.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Here's Lenny Henry.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of those things you can comfortably put in as DLC. If it was in the main game, people might have raised an eyebrow, but...
Oh, God, yeah. But it wasn't, so... Yeah, I'm down with that. I thought it looked pretty cool. The reveal was great.
Yeah. It was good. I mean, I've downloaded it, but I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, same.
So what's actually in it? Because I didn't buy the pass. I didn't buy the first one. Because the first one was just a hard mode or challenge mode or whatever. But this, from the trailer at least, looks like it's got some actual stuff in it.
It's got some more. Yeah, it's got new quests that you can do before you take on Ganon. But they're really hard. The one I started doing was incredibly difficult, and I kind of gave up. But I will go back to it. It just needs some time. But yeah, it looks okay. And then, so we had that, and then we had Soulcalibur 6. I don't know if anyone cares about that. That's kind of nice to see that coming back.
I'm not into fighting games at all, but Soulcalibur is the only fighting game. I liked Mortal Kombat 1, I guess, but Soulcalibur, I actually loved on the Dreamcast. I don't know why.
Yeah, on the Dreamcast it was fantastic. Yeah.
It was weird because then it kind of like, I mean, that was one of those games that everyone would say, no, this is fucking incredible, you have to pay attention to Soulcalibur, and then it sort of, in the 360 era, it sort of fell to pieces, didn't it? And then they did the free-to-play version.
Soulcalibur 3 onwards, it shat itself.
Because 2 was fantastic, and then wasn't the third one, they kind of broke it, because they had that kind of like, you can create your fighter mode, and it kind of ruined the game somehow, but... basically, there were like people just found like loads of like infinite combos and shit, and it just ruined it a bit.
It's a shame.
So we had that, and then after that we had there's Bayonetta 1 and 2 coming for Switch, which is
saying this has been coming for ages, haven't we?
Yeah, but then with the big thing being that 3 is coming as well, for Switch, which is very exciting to me.
But it's ages off, isn't it? It's 2019, I think they said, didn't they?
Yeah, but it's still coming, which is good. I mean, I think. 1 and 2, I think, are coming early next year, aren't they?
Yeah,
I think it was around March, wasn't it? So that's pretty good. And I mean, I saw some people moaning about that, like complaining about it coming to the Switch. Yeah, because it was they were saying, oh, it's already been out on like everything else, and why can't they release it on like PS4 so it'll look better? And it's like,
fuck off.
No, there is. I do understand that. Like, I mean, one of the good things about Bayonetta when it first came out was it did look stunning at the time, and wanting it to look as good as it can do on current consoles is not a terrible thing to say, I suppose, but let's face it, Bayonetta would be dead without Nintendo, so it was Nintendo, and also, or nothing.
I mean, 2 was like really like had loads of Nintendo stuff in it as well, so it's very unlikely that, and they published it, so it's not going to go anywhere. Then we had Death Stranding. We had another trailer for this, which did you see this, Dave?
Yeah, I did actually. All I wanted to do was show it to everyone. Like, I haven't shown it to anyone, but I just thought it was just fucking weird, wasn't it? I mean, I
made Chen watch it, and she was not. Yeah, she wasn't impressed. I mean, she thought she was intrigued by it, but then also horrified, especially by the end bit.
When you saw the lead character in that suit, did you think, okay, well, it's a Metal Gear Solid game then? Did you not get that feeling?
Not particularly.
No. Really? When I saw him in that suit, I was like, okay, well, it's going to be a Metal Gear Solid game. Like that. It's just
in what way, Dave?
Face. Just the it was like the power suit and all this sort of shit. I don't know, and not in a bad way. Like, I'm not having a pop. I'm just saying that it went from being something completely that seemed to be completely different to anything he's ever done to, okay, I can see this being another Metal Gear game. But okay, I'm on my own with that.
Anyway, I thought it was a great trailer, and that's easily one of my most anticipated games.
Yeah, like I've gone, brilliant. Like I was one of those people who's a bit like, yeah, but what is it though? But I think I'm quite happy not knowing now.
See, I find that interesting because Matt was like that when the Destiny trailer came out. And he was like, oh, they didn't tell us anything. It's rubbish. What's the point in the trailer if they didn't tell us anything? And now you're saying that the game. Death Stranding, it's a different game. Right, different rules.
Very different games. Like, this is clearly a narrative experience. Destiny is a loot box grind fest.
How do you know it's a narrative experience?
Well, it's a Kojima game. It's going to be, isn't it?
It's a very different game.
Anything else? No? Okay. 1-0, Matt.
I don't know about that, Matt. I don't know about that.
Where? 2-0? Yeah, it looks like a very good game.
It's a penalty in the 93rd minute, Matt. Who's stepping up to take it?
Fuck off.
Go on, James.
So anyway, they showed some more Sea of Thieves, and I don't know. I just really dislike the art style of this game.
Really?
I hate it.
I think the waves look great, don't they?
No, I just don't like it.
I think it looks great. I think it looks really fun. I just don't need to see any more of it before it comes out.
I mean, I know you didn't, Sean, because you haven't got an Xbox, but did you, James and Dave, sign up for the beta or the Insider thing?
Excuse me, it's on Windows 10 as well.
Oh, okay, brilliant. Well, did you sign up as well,
Xbox,
Sean?
Man.
I did.
Mate,
I don't need one. We'll get onto that in a minute.
Yeah, James, Dave, did you sign up? Did you become an insider before December 1st to get an alpha?
I did not know.
Alpha.
I don't care. It looks, I don't know.
Guys, we're going to do cross-platform play, and it's going to work.
Windows anywhere. Yeah,
we should do like just normal platform play, Sean. I would say that I just wait until it comes out now. The beta, I'm kind of done with betas. I think well,
that's okay. But it's an alpha, so
sorry.
It just
alpha. All right, okay, sorry. Whatever. Beta.
It means it's even worse, man.
Beta.
It just reminds me of Galleon, and that I didn't like that game.
What he's talking about, Galleon?
Wait, I've never mentioned it.
Fucking Juiced every
Banging on
week.
about Galleon and Juiced and
Sick of
Jim
it.
Sterling every week.
Oh God, yeah, Sean. That's James's new Glixel, by the way.
Jim Sterling said this.
Jim
week.
Sterling said this.
I was just making clear the reference point so that you're not.
Yeah, he was just making clear the reference point. Sean.
Oh, yeah,
he
I'm
was
glad
just
that's
making
cleared up.
clear the reference point. So
It's good.
Anyway.
Clear that up.
Important to clear
Anyway,
up.
so then also there was Dreams as well, which is a new game from Media Molecule, and it looks like it's another constructing kind of game, not like Little Big Planet, but sort of on those sort of lines. It is.
I saw someone saying, no, this is different from Little Big Planet, because I went to a developer session after this and watched one of the team create something in about 30 seconds, and I thought, he's one of the team, of course he's doing that. Let's wait until it's in the hands of the divs. Let's see where it goes from there.
So that was the thing.
I've seen a lot of people talk about it though, in terms of glowing terms for its VR stuff. So I'm very interested to see what that's about.
People did that with Little Big Planet as well, didn't they? People were going crazy over that, and there was always that thing about are people going to be bothered to do it?
Yeah, like on paper, Little Big Planet is the best game ever made, but the platforming was absolutely honking. And you're like, I'm going to open up the level editor, I'm going to make some stuff, and then 3 hours later, you've made like 2 blocks and a checkpoint. And
do you know, this is totally legit, I swear to God. The first time I made it to the moon in Super Mario Odyssey and pressed the jump button, I instantly thought, is this a fucking diss on Little Big Planet? Genuine thought that I had. And then I realised that actually it was all like the whole theme of the game leading up to that, so fair play.
Yeah.
Okay, come on, is that enough?
Yeah, so that's about it. The only other thing I had on it was that guy going crazy, but we've already covered that.
He's the boy.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're listening to this, mate, I've got your back. Don't worry. If you read Andy's tweets, just ignore him, son. Follow me instead. Right, okay, what else we got? Is that it?
So the next piece of news was the PlayStation experience, but I'm not going to talk about this long because...
Shit, wasn't it?
Well, this is the thing. I didn't watch it, but friend of the show, Adam Capone, said it was really, really boring and just kind of pointless. And because they did that thing where they had like developers sitting on couches talking about games, but it was really, really dull.
Never a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there is a medieval remaster. So
Oh yeah.
I saw people getting excited about that, but it's
Dan
not so-
Fortescue rides again. I don't know who greenlit that.
well, I guess I think,
bizarre.
Crash did well.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
think that's it, isn't it? What else are we going to see? Are we going to see...
The Bouncer 2.
Well, they are do Wipeout in VR as well. So
that I am
Yeah,
interested
that's
in.
just like a free update. God, that'd kill you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they
certainly-
do Destruction Derby in VR? Fucking get that in VR. That'd be banging.
Oh, I love a new Destruction Derby. Whoa! I think that's one of the... I'm sure that was one of the catchphrases, wasn't it?
Was it?
All the sound bites were terrible.
that should be your catchphrase, Matt. Now
It is.
From now on.
Wasn't the Destruction Derby car one of the things in PlayStation All-Star Battles? One of the
You joking?
characters. I'm pretty sure.
Most famous PlayStation character going.
Yeah, famous
There was
icon.
a car in it. I could be wrong. Okay, right. Okay, that's the end of the news, right?
Yep, that's the end.
It's time for the business to be done. I've got the names of all of the people on this show in front of me, screwed up on
good.
bits of paper. Last year, we just sort of randomly worked our way through whose turn it was. This time, we should really draw our names out of the hat. So I'll draw them for the first round of games that we're picking for our Game of the Year list for next week's show. And then we'll just go in order after that, okay? So the first pick goes to James Farley.
3.
James, you got your first pick. What are you going with?
Okay. In that case, I'm going with. Oh, now I'm stuck because there's two possible ones.
Zelda, fuck's sake.
Yeah, but he wants to get as many of his own in as
I was going to say,
possible.
don't pick the obvious ones. Someone else will pick them, right?
Right?
I hope no one
Okay,
does.
I'm going for Mario Odyssey.
Mario
Oh, left field.
Ooh.
Odyssey.
That's one of Mindy's, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, shut up with that.
I've not heard of it, mate.
Next out of the pack, we have Sean. Your pick.
Destiny 2, mate.
Destiny 2.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. No, we're good. We're good. Sean. We're not discussing it. We're just going to pick them out.
Great radio.
Dave. I'm going with Zelda. Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Zelds. Okay. Matt.
Rhyme.
Yeah. Okay.
What? James? What was that? James?
Nothing. We'll move on.
I'm going to make that the new message tone on my phone.
I'm just thinking there's so many other games that came out this year, and it's a very good game, obviously. But
We're not discussing it.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry,
James.
I went next. Yeah, I'm going to go for Yakuza 0.
Matt, you should have done the noise. Yakuza 0. Okay.
No other human can recreate that.
Who's Sean?
Nier Automata.
Yeah.
Or
Automata.
Whatever it is.
You say Automata? Yeah, I'm sure that's been done. Right, yeah, so my next one, I've got to go to my list now. Oh, of course, Future Unfolding is number 7. Matt.
Super Hot VR.
Okay, James. Super Hot VR. Okay.
Persona 5.
Okay. That's 9.
James, are there any on this that aren't Japanese games?
Yes, there are actually. But yeah.
Sean?
Have you actually played any Japanese games this year, Matt?
Sean?
Well, actually, have you played any games this year?
Sean?
What Remains of Edith Finch?
We'll go for the Edith.
Yeah,
right, Matt. Is it Matt?
No, it's you.
It's me. Oh, fuck. No, hold on. Something's gone wrong here. Sean's just picked. Yeah.
Now
No,
it's
sorry,
you,
it's me.
and then me.
Yeah.
You and then Matt, yeah.
Fuck, I've got to go back to my list. Oh, okay. Oh, this is hard. I've got quite a few in front of me that really should be on this list. I'm probably going to go with Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Ooh, prick. That's what I was going for.
Which is a strange one because the 3rd episode comes out after we record next week's show.
Yeah, that's so annoying.
Yeah, but okay, whatever. 12. So, what is that, Matt?
Yeah, me, yeah. Okay, no. Stardew Valley.
What? Was that last year? It was last year, wasn't it?
Was this on Switch? Yeah, I was actually going to ask, well, what is like the legit? Yeah,
no, you can't go because
you weren't going to ask. Yeah, because then get it through, and then
if you do that, then you could choose like Skyrim. That came out 5 years ago, but I could just say the Switch version.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can't put Rocket League in there because that will literally walk away with it.
Yeah, I was gonna put it on my list. Okay, I'm gonna say Farpoint.
What's Farpoint?
It's the VR game.
Oh yeah.
Really embedded in the consciousness of the.
Okay, we're back to James.
Oh, this is more difficult now because I was going to go for Life is Strange, but it's probably I'm going to have to go for Wolfenstein 2. I think
Wolfenstein 2, Wolfie 2. Okay, Sean.
Oh, I've got two potential ones. Neither of them's getting out the first round, but one's going to be
What's
much
the
more
point
fun
then?
to talk about.
Yeah,
Million Onion Hotel.
Oh, fuck it now. All right, I'm going to play that then.
Yeah, do.
I expect you to also play through the whole of Persona 5 and Yakuza 0 before next week.
Good luck with that. First round out, baby. Remembering Titanfall, baby. Number 15 then. And now I am very, very torn because I've got a few. Right, can I say my list? What's left on my list?
Well,
Next Machina, Golf Story, Splatoon 2, and Horizon Zero Dawn. There's some.
It's Splatoon 2, but yeah.
Oh, well done. You don't get a say.
Wolfenstein, I know.
I would probably drop Horizon. It's probably the one that I like least out of those. Golf Story, I really wanted to talk about it as a Game of the Year contender, but it's got too many bugs in it to really properly push.
Yeah.
So I've got to drop that. Nex Machina and Splatoon 2 is such a hard call. Nex Machina is almost perfect. Splatoon 2 has problems, but it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Dave, I thought earlier you said no discussion.
No, this is just me working out what to put forward.
Oh, okay.
If I did this, you go mad.
You're right. I can't defend myself. You're absolutely right. I'll go with Nex Machina. 16. Last game on the list.
Last one on the list. Can we have a recap of the list?
No, we'll do that at the end.
Okay. I've got a few of mine as well.
Go on, what have you got?
Yeah, what have you got?
I've got Night in the Woods. Which was fantastic. Wolfenstein 2.
That's already on the list.
Is it? Who chose that?
Yeah.
James.
I did.
For fuck.
Well, it makes the decision easier.
Yeah.
Be happy.
I'm still upset that Stardew Valley isn't on this, but I understand
It was
why.
a game that came out last year, so, you know.
Yeah.
I'm upset Titanfall 2 ain't on the list, but what can you do about it?
Round one, baby. Round one loser. Night in the Woods.
Night in the Woods. What was the other ones on your list?
Well, they've all been taken. One was Skyrim. No, and it's all the ones you said, really.
I'm quite surprised. Oh, okay, right. Let me recap. So we've got at number 1 Mario Odyssey, number 2 Destiny 2, number 3 Zelda Breath of the Wild, number 4 Rime, number 5 Yakuza Zero, number 6 Nier Automata, number 7 Future Unfolding, number 8 Super Hot VR, number 9 Persona 5, number 10 Edith Finch. What remains of what was it? What remains of Edith Finch?
What remains of Edith Finch? You've played the game.
I have, yeah.
I don't remember what it's fucking called.
Number 11 Life is Strange Before the Storm, number 12 Farpoint, number 13 Wolfenstein 2, number 14 Million Onion Hotel, number 15 Nex Machina, and number 16 Night in the Woods. There's some big hitters that didn't make it at the list. I mean,
it's been a fucking stupid year, isn't it?
Splatoon 2 I thought would have made the top 16.
Yeah, that was on my list as well.
Too.
And he shows A Night in the Woods before that. Okay. I mean, it's your shout.
What's that about, Matt?
Listeners,
Anyway,
if there's a game that you think is shockingly not on that list from this year's Game of the Year list thing, then please.
Hang on, I've just figured it out. There's a reason that Matt couldn't put Splatoon 2 on there. He only played it for like 5 minutes before he got rid of
Shit,
it.
and he sold it, didn't he? Yeah, of course.
Pathetic.
No, what's pathetic is stealing cereal from children. Right, if there's a game that isn't on that list that you want on that list, then send it in. You've got until, I would say, probably Saturday evening to submit games. Then on Sunday we'll do a poll, and you can all vote on what game should be on that list as part of the listener's choice. We need a hashtag, Matt. What's a good hashtag to use?
Well, it's TCGS
GOTY?
GOTY 2017.
Yeah, okay. TCGS GOTY 2017. Name a game that isn't on that list.
Just mention that computer game poll on Twitter. Oh, and if you're not on Twitter, then email us and we'll put them into the poll.
Yeah, and the one with the most votes, like the top 4 that gets voted for, we'll put into a poll, and then you can vote on them, and we will have to bump one of our games from the list for your choice. So get on that straight away.
The game that gets bumped, is that going to be random? Because that could make it more interesting.
No, it's not going to be random. That's stupid.
Why?
If it's random, it might be fucking Zelda.
Yeah,
exactly. Then it's not fair.
Zelda's lost.
No, we've got to discuss between the 4 of us and all agree on which one gets bumped. That's the fun of it. That's the fun of it.
Yeah, because if it was random, the listeners say, okay, let's all choose Farming Simulator. And we're like, okay, Farming Simulator knocks out Mario Odyssey. Goodbye, Mario.
Yeah.
No, we will all vote on it as we did last year. Flashpoint's probably going to go. Right, okay.
Sorry, what game?
I didn't say anything.
You said Flashpoint.
No.
That wasn't... I love Operation Flashpoint, but not this year's
the
game.
one that Farpoint in it? Whatever. No one gives a shit about that game, Matt. No one gives a shit about it.
I had to give it a mention.
Let's get. I can't believe you're saying Farpoint is better than Splatoon 2.
I could not let this year go without giving it a mention. It's on the list. Don't expect it to live long, but it's on the list.
Metacritic of 4, I believe.
I mean, fuck that. But I mean, I was looking forward to listeners choosing PUBG, and then I was having to debate that and knocking out one of James's.
Oh shit!
I'm not.
PUBG
Yeah.
forward. That's interesting. All right, okay, fine. Oh yeah, God, if PUBG knocks one of James's out, that big.
I'm going to be furious if that happens.
If it knocks out Yakuza, I'm all over that.
You've literally just told the listeners what to do, what game to nominate for.
No, I mean, they can do what they want. Yeah,
they can. Right,
free country.
So that's our list. Join us next week to find out what is the official TCGS Game of the Year. Let's get on to what we've been playing, and it's going to be a brief one this week, mainly run by Sean. Do you want to do like a quick rundown of what we've been missing? What opinions have we been missing from you, Sean?
To be honest, right, the first month was basically just Stardew Valley on the Switch. It was fucking ridiculous. Like,
it's a very, very good game, isn't it, Sean?
It is a very good game. One of the best games I played this year, but crucially not originally released this year.
So you've missed, because you haven't been listening, you've missed James sniping on that game non-stop since you left.
It's an above average game.
Oh my god, he's been ripping me a new one every single week, and then last week he's like, I never said it was bad.
Yeah. I never said it was a bad game. I just
he constantly said it's not as good as Animal Crossing, and I had to keep reminding him that they're different games.
Yeah, I'm not having that, James. It's clearly better than Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that's absolute mental. That's
absolute mental.
Crazy. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I couldn't even construct a sentence then. I'm just shocked.
That is absolute mental.
That is absolute mental.
Right?
God. What was that? Go on, Sean.
Shitload of Destiny 2. Get onto that in a minute.
Really? Why don't you do it now?
I'll do it now if you want. Right, so I wondered when I jacked in the podcasting, like how, like, was it going to annoy me, like, not having a voice anymore? And generally, no. But fucking hell, the moaning about Destiny 2.
Who's been moaning about it?
What is wrong with everyone? I mean, not
everyone.
Yeah, like the community.
Yeah, Reddit's on fire.
Like the ones who go on Reddit and the official forums, definitely the worst elements of the community. Just been like, oh yeah, there's no end game. Are you sure? Because I put 150 hours in before the expansion came out, and I've not even done the raid. I've just been having a nice time, just every time the weekly reset stuff happens, just going on, doing a few things, right, enjoy myself. See you on Friday when Zer turns up to sell me some shit. And it's been lovely. It's been so nice. And yet it just feels like the community is just going mental because the game isn't literally endless.
Yeah. I mean, there's...
Well, it's not that though, is it?
The main complaint is that there's not enough to do between weekly resets, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've said this a million times about this game. I adore playing it. Like, absolutely adore playing it. I love how it plays. And I said last week on last week's show, it's horrific playing a game like Wolfenstein, which is good and better than Destiny in certain areas, no doubt. I'm not slagging Wolfenstein off. But when I play another shooter alongside Destiny, I'm always thinking, this isn't as fun to shoot as in Destiny. Destiny's far more fun to like pop heads and stuff. What's been happening recently, Sean, you probably haven't heard. I've been bullied into getting the Xbox version.
Yeah, you did tell me.
Yeah, and I mean, what's happened is that Matt dropped it like a sack of shit, and then John just suddenly decided to get it on Xbox because he got an Xbox One X. And to be fair, that's where the majority of our friends play. So yeah, I got it on Xbox One. I've been playing through the campaign again, and my word, I've fallen in love all over again. I love it. I think it's so good. And yeah, I'll be honest with you, I haven't been following much of the community. I haven't been reading a lot about Destiny. I don't understand. Well, I kind of understand if someone wanted to play 10 hours a day, like every week, I could understand them getting a bit bored with it. But there's two things I'd say to that. First of all, this is, vanilla Destiny 2. Up until recently, a couple of days ago, this vanilla Destiny 2. That's been the base content. Now, if you go back to the base content of Destiny, it was bad, if not, it was as bad, if not worse, right? Yeah. Probably worse. What I've played, I don't know, man. I
don't think that's a defence.
Why is that not defence?
Because of what you're saying, it's better than the game that came out 2 years ago, so what are you worrying about?
No, what I'm saying is that people are comparing Destiny 1 by the end of its life to Destiny 2 at the start of it.
Yeah, but I think they should, because that's the game we've been playing. So if they're comparing Destiny 1 at the end of its life...
A game with 2 years worth of content
does not have the level
of... A game with 2 years worth of added on content piled into it compared to a fresh start. I don't... In terms of...
No, but that doesn't work either, because 2 years of Destiny content doesn't really matter. It's only really the last patch or last DLC that really kept really playing. They're not going through House of Wolves, they're not going through Dark Below again. They're basically just comparing the last DLC and or patch of Destiny 1 to where we are currently with Destiny 2.
So one of the main concerns is that there's not enough to do in Destiny 2 once you reach, the level cap, right? But are you saying that because it's a follow-on from Destiny 1, they should have the same amount of strikes and raids and activities as Destiny 1 did at the end of its life?
I'm obviously well aware that it was not have the same amount of raids, but clearly there was something that kept people coming back to the end, to Destiny 1 and the end of Destiny 1, which appears to be missing somehow from Destiny 2 where we are currently.
Well, what is that? What would you say that is?
Well, I don't know, but clearly something's missing.
What?
Personally, it feels like there is. So Destiny 2 seems to fix every single issue that there was with Destiny 1. Yeah. But from what I've seen of it and played of it, and I still put 40 plus hours into it. I just didn't get to do my nightfalls and raids and stuff. I got to 285 on light level. It feels like it's been refined to the point where it's removed some of the mystery and some of potentially argue the things that I kept coming back to it to do.
I think the biggest, the one thing, right? There's two things that I think it failed on, and it hasn't stopped me playing, and it won't stop me playing. But I think Zer's shit. I'm not, he's you get exotics far too easily in this. There's not something really to work towards in terms of...
Yeah, exotics aren't exciting or rare. It's just another one. And also, obviously, up to now, has been doing a lot of repeats of a lot of guns that people already have, and a lot of people have already, even at this early stage, completed their exotic collection. Whereas some people, it was taking them, at the end of the 2 years of Destiny to I'm still waiting for that one. And, but Bungie have since announced that they are going to sort out the duplication. There'll be less chance of duplicating or no chance of duplicating.
Right, okay, I agree. I agree with that, right? I also think that the other thing that it does wrong is... I can't remember what the other thing was now. My brain's gone dead. It was something to do with... Nah.
Is it going to be the tokens that you have to collect? And basically it's just token, this vendor, that token.
They did lean very heavily into the whole token thing. I admit that is odd.
Yeah, well, that was it. The special events don't feel special. When you've got the... And it ties into the token thing you were saying, that everything is just... Iron Banner used to be this huge event, and now it's not.
Oh, they fucked it up so bad.
Yeah, Iron Banner is terrible. It just feels like every other thing that you do in Destiny, and it wasn't like that in Destiny 1. So it
felt like an event, good. And it was a good. I mean, again, that was a grind. Arguably, they made less of a grind now, but for whatever reason, that's not enough to pull me back.
Okay.
We might as well talk about it, but Sean, what's your view on obviously the latest DLC that now does it locks people out, and no, it doesn't allow people
to be fair, I was going to say there's a couple of things that people are right to be sulky about. One is that the new DLC is out, and it actually removes some functionality from the main game if you don't have the DLC.
And this is like 3 months after launch.
Which the first game did as well, yeah.
But 3 months after, you just spent like 40, 50 quid or whatever you paid for the game, and then 3 months after launch, you've now got to spend another 30 to keep up with. I mean,
it's all part of Destiny's weird identity crisis, isn't it? Like, I think if they could have just said, "Look, it's a tenner a month," I think they'd have done it. I think,
and I would have happily paid that actually.
Yeah.
Right. Here's a question though, Matt. How do you do it any other way? Because they're not, for starters, they're not locking people out of content.
They are.
No, they're not.
They are in a sense because it's things. So, like basically your weekly Nightfall. If it turns out that it's a strike that you haven't got because you haven't got the DLC, you can't do that week's Nightfall.
Right. Okay, but that's content that people have paid for. So how do you now say, everyone can play this stuff, but you have to pay to play the new content? The strikes that are in...
Maybe don't make the Nightfall one of the DLC strikes, at least
then
not for now.
Isn't that penalising people that have paid money?
No, because you can play strikes and other strike playlists, DLC strike playlists, other things, but maybe not for the weekly thing that every single Destiny 2 player can and
Mate,
arguably
if you're playing... Right, can I just say, and maybe this is a contentious point, and maybe I'm being an arrogant prick here, but if you're so into doing the Nightfall, and if you're so into the end-level, like hard stuff, aren't you invested in Destiny 2? Haven't you probably got that expansion pack?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've not seen so many people being like, well, I've only got vanilla Destiny and this has pissed me off, as much as I've seen people going, well, this is why I'm never buying it.
Exactly.
Those posts are doing anything.
Yeah. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, part of me does feel like, look, well, if you give a shit, you've bought the DLC, haven't you?
Yeah, and maybe that's
I think what gets me is it just...
But I think it's a realistic one.
Yeah.
I get
it does seem short-sighted from Bungie's point of view. Like, if you've got people who only own the base game, why risk pissing them off if they're potential DLC customers? So,
and it's only 3 months after launch. I mean, maybe March, maybe a little bit different.
See, that's how I kind of feel about it, because
it was later as well. So if you've got the PC version, you've not even had it 3 months yet. But,
yeah, like a month, haven't you?
Yeah. Sorry, go on, James.
No, because that's how I feel about it, because I haven't played it enough. I mean, I finished the campaign and then I didn't really go back to it. But then hearing all this makes me not really feel like I want to, because I just think it sounds like a lot
James,
more.
let me tell you this.
It's just £30.
Let me tell you this, James. You're already locked out of the Nightfall. You're currently locked out of the Nightfall. If the Nightfall was for you, the content that you bought on the disc, you're already locked out of it, mate. Because you ain't getting fucking nowhere in a Nightfall at the level you're at. I'll tell you that. I mean, you still got lots of work to do in that game before you can start moaning.
No, maybe I won't bother.
So
hear that, Bungie?
the new DLC is fine, right? The campaign's pretty good. There's some really smart bits in it, and so Mercury is now a destination. It's very small though. What's been a bit disappointing?
I love the fact that there's new enemies, which are the Vex, but with funny little donuts on their head. Yeah. It's just like exactly the same yet again.
And isn't Mercury like a reskin of Venus?
It's its own area, and it's got the the lighthouse from one that you had to earn access to. That's in it.
Spoilers.
And yeah, it's cool. What has been a bit disappointing is like I've gone through the campaign and I'm like, right now I get into the cool sort of post-story stuff. It's very grindy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I was really excited because I'd seen, I was watching a video about it and I was like, oh yeah, and there's this weapons forge. I was like, holy shit, that sounds amazing. It's literally like, okay, to unlock the first weapon in the weapons forge. You don't actually create your own weapons. It's like weapon number 1 is a scout rifle, and to unlock it, you need X amount of these items, which you get sometimes when you do a public event. And you need 10 of them, and you only get and I did public events for like maybe 40 minutes and I've got 4.
So people are probably going to be really happy about that then, Matt, right?
I was going to say, yeah, it sounds right on my street.
I mean, yeah,
this is why people don't deserve what they want, because then...
Because then this happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, and then there's like 14 of these. It's like I don't think I'm going to do this.
You'll do it. You'll do it. You know you'll do it eventually.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, just through sheer attrition. Yeah, I think it's a bit disappointing that it's not stuff that I'm like, right, cool, I'm going to do this now. It's just going to be, oh, well, I'm just going to carry on doing the weekly stuff, and eventually, as a byproduct of that, I will unlock these new weapons and stuff.
So they're the coins in Mario Odyssey. Yes, we all want the skeleton thing, but let's just play, and then eventually we'll get to 999 or whatever it is.
9,000.
But they've added new guns, new exotics, and stuff. All the changes have been really nice. I know that there's more changes coming this week, I believe. I'm still playing it and really enjoying it. I think it's great.
Is there a new raid in this pack?
There's not. They've added. It's called
Raid
Lairs.
It's Lair, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Where basically it's like sort of smaller, sort of raid-esque segments. So basically for people who want to do the raid but haven't got enough time.
Right, okay. That's
which
nice.
I think, sounds cool. I mean, I know like a lot of people are like, the Dark Below had a new raid with it. Why isn't this? Well, I guess, but they've made it quite clear it wasn't going to, so...
Whatever, I don't care anymore. I just want to play more Dest. I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. I haven't got it in me.
I've not done the raid. I've not done the raid. I was going to do it with you, and now you're...
I still have my character there. I still have my character there. I will happily do the raid on PS4. At least I can see it in 4K. So if you get a team together and I'm in.
Yeah. Right, what else? That's a lot of Destiny chat. Forza Horizon 3. I've got a computer that runs it, lads.
Yay!
Wow. All I had to do
Let's go to a game
was all I had to do was spend a fucking week losing my mind trying to get it working.
So what's the history? So explain the history. It's obviously because you and Chris both had nightmares, didn't you?
Well, so obviously a couple of E3s ago, they were like, "Oh, these games are coming to Windows 10 as well," and I was like, "Cool, I might not need an Xbox after all." And like the only Xbox exclusive that I've been properly excited about was Forza Horizon 3, and obviously over Black Friday and stuff, been a lot of sales, a lot of cheap Xboxes flying around, really tempted. But then as part of child-proofing the living room, I was like, maybe I should just sack the PC off and get a nice laptop instead. So that's what I've done.
How much was the laptop?
It was like 600 quid.
Oh, amazing. You could have bought an Xbox One X, the most powerful games console on the market. Oh, God. Go on.
I don't want one though, do I?
Well, clearly you do. Go on.
So got this laptop and I was like, do you know what? It's probably not going to run Forza Horizon 3. But if it's as good as my old PC, that's fine. Old PC, for context, runs everything I could throw at it apart from the demo for Forza Horizon 3, which was like people say, oh, it's unplayable, and it's actually looking, it's like, well, it's about 15 frames a second. That's quite bad, but it's not unplayable. This was unplayable.
But does it run Crysis? Or
the old PC or the laptop?
Yeah.
I mean, the old PC did, yeah. No bother.
Was that a gag?
That was a terrible joke, Matt, that fell flat.
Okay.
Oh, mama. Someone turn the audience up, please.
Is this thing on? Tough crowd.
So
but does it play Crysis? No,
shut up.
Forget it.
So I got the demo of Forza Horizon 3 on the laptop. This isn't going to work. Fucking worked. It ran. I was like, oh my God, right, this is it. Bought the game, installed it, crashed immediately every time I tried to launch it.
Amazing.
So I was like, fucking brilliant. So then I'm going on the forums and it's like, it might depend on the version of the game you've got and the version of Windows you got, and check your graphics drivers and all that shit. I was like, right, okay. And then it turned out, so even though I bought the laptop and it spent about 5 hours updating Windows 10, turned out there was another update that took another 5 hours to install. That didn't fix it. Graphics drivers didn't fix it. I was going fucking mental.
Xbox One X, £100.
I know, I don't understand this at all.
A lot less stress.
No sense.
No, right, because... So bear in mind, I'd already installed Steam by this point, put loads of Steam games on it, fucking no problem. It's just the Windows Store is an absolute bomb site. Like, if anyone actually fucking used it, there'd be riots. It's unbelievable. Like, so just getting the game to install in the first place, you click the install button, and it's like, right, cool, we'll download that, and then it just sits there, 0%. And you're like, okay, well, I'll give it half an hour, come back, still 0%. All right, I'll try and cancel it. Cancelling, ... and the little bar moving. And it just doesn't do anything that you tell it to. It's absolutely incredible. Can't even. Oh yeah, so other people are like, oh yeah, try deleting the game and reinstalling it. Wouldn't let me uninstall it. Just again, I click the uninstall button and just nothing happens. It is breathtaking how shit it is.
£180 for an S. Go on.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
In the end, lads, it's dead easy. All you have to do is reformat your entire fucking computer, and then it works. Great.
Oh, you've convinced me. Go on.
Yeah, I know. I did that anyway because I put an SSD in it. I was like, all right, fuck it, clean slate. Because it came with a load of... it's an Asus laptop, and it came with a load of shite software I didn't want, and clean slate. And, Forza Horizon 3 is really good. Hooray!
It is really good, though, isn't it? It is good. Did you get the Hot Wheels stuff?
Yes.
It is good.
It's like playing it, I'm like, this is why... Like, yeah, for years I was like, why does the universe think it's okay that we never got a proper sequel to Burnout Paradise? And I was like, oh no, this is it.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. That is
fucking tremendous. Like it's like it takes itself the correct amount of seriously. It requires a lot of skill and there's a lot in it. But like, if you're in a sports car and you accidentally get on the grass, doesn't really matter. Like, it's better not to, but you're not just going to spin out. Like, most trees you can just sort of plow through, and again, it's going to knock down your speed a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Like, the game feels more concerned with letting you fucking enjoy yourself rather than
totally
being a purist about it. And like the Hot Wheels DLC, like fucking poster boy for what DLC is for,
I need to
something that you couldn't just put it in as part of the campaign, or maybe you could, but it would just feel a bit weird. But as we're doing a racing festival in Australia, DLC. Oh, by the way, there's also now a separate island with life-size Hot Wheels cars and stupid tracks.
Yeah,
and it makes no sense. Dinosaurs. Be like, well, it gives a shit. Yeah. It just doesn't matter that it makes no sense. It's perfect. The one thing that amused me about it is I didn't realise the whole premise of the game is that it's just about a guy who makes his own racing festival so that he can take part in it and win.
Oh God, yeah. That's the whole thing.
Incredible.
I love that shit. Like, it's ridiculously, it knows what it's doing. It definitely knows what it's doing.
The one previous was weird, wasn't it? Because that one had Sean Maguire in, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, random.
Wow. But yeah, what a fucking brilliant game.
Does it have any of the voice control stuff?
No, I guess not. Why? What does it do?
It's just genuinely the best use of Kinect I think I've ever seen. The voice control stuff, you basically control your sat nav.
Oh, right.
And you use it like Amazon Echo, basically. You say, hey, Anna, set a waypoint for the next event, or set a waypoint for the next barn find, or something like that. And it just worked. Cool. It was fantastic.
That whole sat nav thing is wicked. Cool. Oh my God, why have I never played an open world game before where you can just push a button to be like, just give me something to do? Like,
yeah.
And it just does it.
It works really well.
Yeah, so fucking smart.
Also, it's one of the best kids games out there because, you can, driving around, do you want to now race against a choo-choo train? Yeah, there you go. Choo-choo train. There we go. Brilliant. Do you want to get speedboats? Yeah, speedboats, that's all good. What's that? You want that car, but you don't like the colour of it? Fine. Let's download literally any character. like Lightning McQueen's in there. Shouldn't be. But Lightning McQueen's in there. But there's Mario vans and Minions cars and stuff like that. I mean, Jesus, we spent more time in the paint shop than we did playing the actual game. But
I mean,
the fact that there's that much stuff in there,
I think
great.
like the only negative thing I have to say about it is its attitude towards the different versions of the game you can buy. Is a bit weird in that you'll be playing it and it's like, oh, you've got a new message. We've gifted you a new car. So you go to your garage and then you try and use the car and it goes, aha, not really. Do you want to pay some money and buy it? It's like, what? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that was... It's only done it like once, but I was a bit like, that's not on.
It's not as bad as if you don't own some of the DLC that's just come out, because that is genuinely horrendous. You load the game, because I couldn't afford it I couldn't afford the Hot Wheels DLC when it first came out, and Harry was obsessed with the game, and we used to load it up in the morning, and the moment I turned it on, it was like, here's the Hot Wheels DLC, and Harry was like, I want that. And I'm like, well, we can't buy it yet, because can't afford it. And then I got in the car, and I drove off, and on the radio, hey, have you been to Hot Wheels Island yet? You can buy it now. And I was like, okay. And it just kept doing it. And I just thought, and you go to the map for the first time, and a big Hot Wheels logo comes up on the map and says, go over here for the Hot Wheels and pay us a fucking...
It's almost like they could have chosen a better way to advertise it to you, isn't it? Rather than just having it interrupting the game constantly.
Yeah.
This is an awful analogy. Go on.
So yeah, I'm probably going to get is it Blizzard Mountain, the first DLC? Was it Blizzard Mountain?
Not played
well,
that.
it's just it's snowy and it's nearly Christmas, isn't it? So fuck it.
Yeah, no, it's a good shout, actually.
Be nice.
That's a good shout. But, yeah.
So, yeah, brilliant. Very briefly, been playing the Monster Hunter World beta, or demo, as we used to call them. It's very good. I like it. What a surprise. I don't think it's going to win over many new fans. Like, they've definitely streamlined things, but it's still the typical Monster Hunter demo setup where it basically strips out like 70% of the structure of the game and is just like, right, pick a monster, pick a weapon, fuck off. Whereas the actual thing of the game is always like doing these hunts, getting monster parts, and then building gear out of them, and then that sort of opening up new options. And I understand that's difficult to squeeze into a demo, so whatever. But it does just kind of chuck you in and doesn't explain a lot of it. One of the new additions I'm not massively keen on is you've now got these scout flies. So it used to be like, you'd go into a hunt and you generally, like if you fought a monster before, then you know where to find it, you know where its habitat is. There were like clues you could find. Like sometimes if there's like herbivores like running about the map, if you see like a mass migration of them out of one area, probably the monster's hanging around there, stuff like that. But admittedly, it was a bit wonky at times. Like it was a bit of trial and error. But so in this, they've added this thing where like you'll find like footprints, and you find clues like footprints or like bits of goo on the wall or whatever. And basically, as you find them, you build up your scout flies like knowledge of the monster, and then eventually, once you've done enough, they just guide you straight to the monster. Like like in The Witcher 3 when you were like following scents and stuff. It's a bit like that. And I get why they've added it. Like, it's good for new players to just be like, right, well, fucking monsters over here, mate. Just go and have a laugh. And also the maps are a lot more complex than they used to be. They're a lot more vertical. There's like sections where you're like running around. There's all like vines sort of wrapping up and sort of making little stairways and stuff. And so it's like really complex and it's quite difficult to learn the map. But it's really easy to just follow the trail of the scout flies. You're not actually looking at the world around you. You're just following like this fucking line in front of you. That's kind of a shame. But apparently, like in the full game, basically, once you've done the scout flies for a bit, more or less, like you don't even need them. So fine. What?
Sorry, I'm just reminded how much of a crashing halt you could bring this show when you talk about a game that no one gives a shit about. It's been a while, Sean. It's been a while.
Well, it's one of those games where it's like, well, if no one's interrupting me, it's like, I'll just fucking crack on then.
I noticed a few moments where you paused for a reaction.
None. Right, I'll
carry on.
Fuck reading the room.
I'm sorry, we shouldn't be like that. That's very rude.
So sure. So, but were you saying the level design is more complicated or less complicated?
Oh, Matt, don't encourage him.
Yeah, okay. Because obviously, from what I gathered, this was very much trying to not dumb it down, but make it easier for new players.
Yeah.
So it's got more complicated map, but easier ways to navigate it.
Basically, yeah. Which is fine, I guess. Like, I'm still properly excited about it. Like, it does, like, all the changes they've made. Like, it used to be like whenever you were picking up an item, there's like a little 3-second animation you'd have to do every single time and stuff. And it's like, that's just gone. You just grab stuff as you run around, and it's like, yeah, that is better.
So it feels like there is tons of quality of life improvements. But have you heard from from the hardcore corners of the audience that they're actually annoyed by it, or generally actually is everyone quite happy?
Everyone seems to love it. Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Everyone seems really happy with it. So yeah, excited.
I like it, Sean. Should I get involved?
Don't know, man.
I mean, how much like Destiny is it?
Not a lot. I mean, I suppose it does rely on you like redoing the same stuff a fair bit. So there's that. But
has this escaped without microtransactions?
No microtransactions.
Wow, that's really surprising.
Yeah,
really,
they specifically put. I don't know if it was like a statement or it was just in an interview. They were just like, "Oh yeah, there's no loot crates, no microtransactions. There's like a special edition of the game you can buy that like gives you like some armor sets, but they're not even. They're just cosmetic. It doesn't affect your stats or anything." So yeah.
Joseph Fares did that. He shouted out, "There's no fucking loot boxes in my game." And I thought, well, it's a linear action adventure. If there was, I think we'd all have an issue with that. You're supposed to, you dummy. Go on.
No, I mean, you know me. I could do another half an hour on this, but I won't. It's very good.
Let's not. What's the next game on the list?
That's it for me. They're the main ones. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll briefly talk about Human Fall Flat, which has come out for the Switch. I had no idea when I first started playing this. This has been out on Steam for a while, right? I think it's 2015 this come out. It's just, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I don't dislike it. I just, I can't see why people would pick this up. It's a sort of 3D sort of climbing game. A little bit like, I mean, when I've read articles on it, a lot of people saying it's QWOP. It's obviously not. You got more control over your character than that, but it is a fiddly game to play. It's one of those fiddly games. You control each arm essentially by looking up and down and left and right and pressing the R and L buttons to grab hold of things as you move through stages. And then you realise the more you play that there's more little bits and pieces that you can do. For example, you can jump and hold your hands up into the air and then grab a ledge and pull yourself up and stuff like that. It's had some funny moments where the animation is quite well designed, where your floppy little man is clinging on for his dear life with no hope, and you let him go and he ragdolls down and stuff like that. And the idea is that you're solving puzzles, essentially. You're doing, with a little bit of platforming, you're solving puzzles, moving blocks and cranes and stuff like that to get to the next part of the game. And the world gets a little bit more detailed as you go through, but it's still quite minimalist. It feels like it wasn't really needed for the Switch. I mean, well, by all means, stick it on there because, it's a new audience that might check your game out. But it doesn't really control well in handheld mode because there's a lot of gripping. And if there's one thing that console isn't as good at, especially in handheld mode, it's gripping things, because you're holding the whole thing and you're trying to press down on these little tiny shoulder buttons. So you get hand cramp pretty quickly. It feels a little bit better on using a Pro controller, but as simple as this game looks, it still struggles from slowdown from time to time, which it feels like maybe it wouldn't on a PC or one of the other consoles. I mean, check it out if you're into that sort of thing. It feels like there are so many indie games on there, and this is not near the top of the list for ones to go and check out. Especially because it doesn't really fit the I can see why Stardew Valley would be so much better on a Switch. than any other console because you can carry it around with you, and you can have a quick bash on the train and stuff like that. This, you ain't playing this on the train. It seems like you'd much rather sit down with a controller in hand in front of a telly or a computer. So the advantages of playing it on the Switch are not really there. But yeah, I mean, if you missed it, go and check out videos. You'll get the concept of it within seconds. And yeah, aside from that, have you not played this, Sean? Yeah, so I mean, it's all right. I don't want to slag it off because at no point am I playing it thinking this is shit. There are times where I'm thinking, I know what to do now. It's just taking me ages to do it because of how fiddly it is to control, which is the point in the game. But it's also frustrating when you can see the goal, but you can't like dicking around to get there. It just takes too long. But you'll take a look at a video. It might be up your street. If you like the look of it from a video, then you'll like the game. That's what I think. But if you look at it and think, I ain't got time for this, then yeah, don't pick it up. James, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing Skyrim, actually, because I bought the Switch version, and it's one of those games which I owned on the 360 towards the end of its life, but then I never bothered playing it. And it's strange because you see, I got into the Elder Scrolls series a long time ago because I really liked Daggerfall and I liked Oblivion, but I'd never played Morrowind or Skyrim, and they're the better ones, I think, from what I've heard. But
the bigger, better ones.
I really like those; they're kind of good. But the trouble is you see, I can't really say that I've been terribly impressed by this game on the Switch, and which is kind of understandable given that it is very old now. I mean, it's like how old is it? It's like 5 years old now, I think, and it just feels so much like Fallout 4 in the sense that just the way the mechanisms of how the game plays, it feels so similar, and it just looks worse, obviously. And I haven't found the quests terribly engaging, and on the Switch it doesn't look great at all. I mean, in docked mode, there's so much pop up, and the problem with this is it really took me out of the game. It's like you when you're walking along and suddenly grass appears in front of you, it just feels not that great. And in handheld mode, it's pretty similar. And also it's still riddled with bugs. And I'd have thought that by now, it's been out 5 years. Yeah, you'd have thought by now, 5 years, they should have fixed this by now, but they clearly haven't bothered. And so I was going to trade it in and forget about Skyrim, but then I got a PSVR with Skyrim VR, and I'm back into it again. Which is
what?
I got a PlayStation VR this week.
What? Where's this come from?
I was saving this for the show, Dave, and because I was be talking with Matt about it because obviously big VR person.
Yeah,
and
I knew.
I did the whole the flip flop thing, and I in the end I ended up buying one because I just wanted one, and so
life's nice when you got money, innit?
Yeah, no, I
just bought one because I wanted one. Yeah, I wish I could buy things like one.
Dave, didn't you see the mention on Twitter? I left it for a good few days, and James took it up.
But no, it was because it was Chen said I could get one for Christmas, and I'm still suspicious as to what that's about, because
especially seeing as it's nowhere near Christmas at the moment. We've got a few weeks. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. This is the thing. I was supposed to save it.
You're just fucking king of the manor, aren't you? Oh well, no, I'm going to buy it. We'll wait till Christmas. No.
No, it was going to turn up, and we were going to keep it in a box until Christmas Day. But then I always ruin Christmas anyway, so I just
what do you mean? What?
Yeah, what do you normally
piss on the Christmas whiskey out and
piss on the Christmas tree?
No, it's
I ruin Christmas, but fuck it, they're lucky to have me.
It's my day to do what I want.
No, I didn't mean it in that way. What I meant is with presents, because I've always when I was a kid, I always found the presents before Christmas, and the absolute worst thing that I did with this was with a friend, and he got a Mega Drive and Street Fighter 2 for Christmas, and we basically I already had a Mega Drive, so every day when we came home from school, he used to go to his house. We'd take the game out of the box that was hidden in his parents' room, and we took it round to my house and we played it up until Christmas for months. And then it was really sad because then when it was on Christmas Day, he was really I've got nothing to play really because we've already beaten this multiple times. But it was a good time. Yeah, I used to do
James, you are Henry VIII. You know that. You just literally Henry VIII. Fuck it. Fuck it, I'll decide when your birthday is, not life. I'll decide when Christmas Day is. It's not Christmas Day, fucking get me my present. Get me my present.
Yeah.
Go on. So what you enjoying it? What games you got with it?
Well, because it came with Skyrim and also the PlayStation Worlds. Yeah, the is it PlayStation World? No, VR World. Sorry, yeah, the other disc that came with it. I haven't really looked at that much so far, but I've played some of the stuff that we played up at Matt's. You know, I played the Playroom VR stuff quite a bit, and yeah, Chen really liked it actually. Like, she tried it, and she doesn't like games, and she was really, really impressed. Like, she just, especially with the Shark Tank one, and she was like, yeah, she was getting quite into it, which I was quite surprised by. But so far it's been pretty good, but it has that whole, you know, like the blurring thing that you get with it. You know, like how it's quite blurry. And the good thing about it is it's not like Kinect, as in I can use it, I don't have to be like, I can be, you know, quite close to the TV and it still works, which is quite good because my TV is really close to the sofa, so I don't have to have the space, so that's been good. But Skyrim VR is a really weird experience because the opening stages of that, where you're sitting on like a what's it called, a horse and cart, and you're like sitting there looking around, is amazing. It looks, I mean, obviously it doesn't look like totally fantastic, but just the feeling of like you do feel like you're in another world. You can see like, you know, all the mountains and that kind of stuff. And then so you go through the whole like opening sections of the game, and then suddenly you're allowed to move, and then I nearly vomited. And it was
really,
yeah. Which I've never had that experience before in a game. Like, it's such a weird experience because your brain, like, because you can still, I'm using a DualShock, so you can, like, you know, walk forward, you know, just with like the left stick. So I started doing that, and my brain was like not having it. It was like, what is going on here? Because obviously it's trying to thinking why your leg's not moving or whatever, and it was horrible. Like, I had suddenly just got a blinding headache as well, and then felt very, very sick and had to stop. But then today I've gone back to it just before we did this, and I changed some of the settings for the control, because you can put it on smooth movement, and so that the right stick you can still use to turn left and right, but it's sort of moves smoothly rather than sort of in juddering sort of way. And it's much better. Now I'm starting to get more used to it. But the only thing about it is I'm not sure if I can see myself playing through an entire game like this in VR, because it feels quite exhausting to play in this way.
You can play sitting down, though, I presume.
Yeah. No, I'm sitting down playing it. But what I mean is, it's like visually I find it a bit exhausting to play, because if you're focusing on something, then things are clear. But everything in your peripheral vision is always a bit kind of blurry. And I don't know if that's because I haven't got it set up right or whatever, but
I think they actually do that on purpose. I remember noticing there's like a weird sort of radial blur effect. I don't know if that's...
Yeah.
I don't know if that's to stop your eyes like scanning around so much, which they would naturally do, and it's to encourage you to move your head instead or something. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it might be that, but it kind of, I don't know, it makes me feel a bit ill. Like, when it's kind of like that, I'd rather it was a little bit clearer. This is why I was asking Matt, like, does it make a difference with the PS4, like, Pro? Like, whether maybe stuff gets smoothed out a bit and it doesn't look quite so...
Yeah, I mean,
like,
obviously PSVR is still PSVR, but I definitely noticed a difference in games like Robinson, The Journey, for instance. Like, there's definitely less jaggies. Textures are definitely better. There's comparisons you can see. Yeah, I haven't got Skyrim, but I really want to try it. So I can't really comment about the blurriness, but obviously there's loads of configuration and things you can do in the settings. You can like retrack your controller, your headset, and obviously you've also done a thing where you're measuring your eyes to the TV. Have you done that one where it sort of gives you a readout?
No, I've not done that.
Oh, I mean, I know. That's something to do to reduce blurring. Yeah. It says you need to like measure yourself 10 feet or 8 feet from the screen, and then you take a picture of your eyes, and then you basically pinpoint where your pupils are for both eyes, and that reduces blurring massively.
Okay, I need to do that then.
You need to do all the configuration things and settings, definitely.
Yeah, because I mean, at the moment, I am aware that I'm like way too close, like, to it as well, which is a problem because of the space that I've got. But I don't know. But it's still working generally well. It's just,
is it the new model?
Yes,
or?
and this is the other thing about this is this model, like, setup and everything is significantly easier, and like there's far less like cabling. Like all there is you've got like the breakout box which you connect up to the PS4 and everything, and then there's just 2 cables that you just plug in from the headset into that, and you're done. And then just put it on, and it really didn't feel like, and it's like the headphones are like, they're not built in, but they're like, you can plug them in and then just leave them. And
that's a lot easier, and the actual cable connecting the headset to the breakout box, is that heavy or is it quite light? Or?
No, it's really light. Yeah,
because the one at the moment is so heavy that when I'm wearing, let's say, jogging bombs, I have to tuck it in to like the pocket, because obviously it just, it's a big weight on you, really.
No, it doesn't feel like that at all. I mean, when I've got it on my head, you don't really feel it at all. It's I think it is it's better what they've done with that. But I just need more time to play it, because I only got it like yesterday, and I haven't really put enough time into it to really sort of say how I feel about it. But
yeah, there's so many games out. I mean, like a ridiculous amount. I mean, you've got to try Super Hot. I mean, like, I want to send you my Farpoint gun to try that. There's so much. It's brilliant.
James, can I request something?
Go on.
I know you said you're done with streaming, but can you get your VR headset on, download Rec Room, which apparently is free?
He already has.
I've already downloaded it.
And stream you playing that. Because no one can see you, on a camera, because it doesn't do that when you stream on VR. And you won't be like bogged down with the chat or anything, because you won't be able to read the chat because you've got the helmet on. But I just want to see your reactions in Rec Room. And
James, I'll download it too, because I haven't downloaded it yet, but I'll download it and we'll play table tennis together and stuff.
Yeah, that's what we thought. Maybe we could stream that. Like, stream me a match.
Because obviously, like, John also had a PSVR headset, but he didn't really want to do much multiplayer because it was making him feel sick. So hopefully now we can start doing some like sports bar VR has been really good, like online multiplayer. We can play pool and that sort of stuff together.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
There's a Rec Room,
and you're very next time, when you come over for your nights, your evenings. We could always do that together. You bring the VR, and then we'd do Rec Room and stream it, because I think there's some good moments in there.
See, and that'd be totally fine bringing this one as well, because setup honestly is so much easier. It doesn't look that like, it's not really that cumbersome.
And I've got a Pro, so you can see the difference between.
Cool. See, it's odd because, I mean, like, joking aside, but I was really excited about getting this, because it was like, I don't know, it feels a bit like getting a new console, like getting something like really like new that does some interesting stuff, and I really enjoyed playing it like when we were up at Matt's. So yeah, I was really pleased to get this. So far it's been really good. I just want to spend some more time. I mean, it's also cool. I mean, the other game I got it for is Bridge Commander. I really want to play that, but I need to wait until it goes down in price a bit. And,
that looks good. How much is that?
It's like £30, I think.
It does look good. I've been watching highlight videos of stuff that's been happening on there, and it just seems constantly hilarious.
Yeah. As a fan of the old Star Trek, I want to.
Mate, don't get me started on Star Trek. Fucking hell. I've been.
No, please. For the love of God, we've already had Monster Hunter.
I'm like halfway through season 3 of Next Generation.
Ooh,
and it's fucking great.
Gee.
Yeah, it is.
That's great. Right, okay. Matt, what have you been playing, please? Hopefully not too much, so we can get to questions.
Yeah, barely anything really. I'm still doing Mario. I'm like 60 coins away from 500, 60 moons away from 500.
Oh, you'll smash that.
So I'll get that done before next week's show. I mean, I was tempted to just like spend all my coins on just getting loads of random moons just so I get to 500, but I am saving towards that skeleton suit.
I'm now heading up to nearly 700 moons, and I don't get to spend any of my coins anymore. I was saying to John the other day, it's so horrific when I'm doing the washing up and Harry's playing it in the other room, and I can hear the Metro Kingdom music playing. The music from Metro Kingdom, which I know we've 100%ed. Apart from the 100 jump challenge, I can't do that yet. But I know that, there's no more moons in that area. And then I hear or whatever, the fucking moon get music. And I'm just like, he's in the shop again. He's in the shop. And I walk in and there's like 0 coins left. And I'm like, motherfucker.
This is why, like, with my kids, I force them to use their own stuff.
Yeah, he's got his own thing. But how do you look a boy in his eye, a 3-year-old child, and say, no, Harry, you can't go to the Metro Kingdom. You've got to stay in the Cascade Kingdom until you do that boss.
They've got to learn, David. They've got to learn.
No, Henry VIII. I've got a heart. fuck you, storming out. Chicken bones over your shoulder. Go on. Is that it, Matt? What else?
I started Life is Strange, but I'm only like half an hour into the first episode. How long are these episodes, by the way?
Not long.
2 hours, 4 hours?
They're not long.
Okay, cool.
Like 2 to 3 hours, I think.
Cool. Well, I'm still doing that. And I played 5 minutes of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds on the Xbox.
All right.
Before. I just wanted to.
Is not enough.
It comes out tomorrow as we're recording this, but I pre-ordered it on CD keys, and they've already unlocked their keys and servers are working. So had a like basically a super quick 5 minutes in it beforehand. Frame rate was a bit all over the place. Graphically, it looks fine, like mid-ish spec PC. I'm obviously super excited to play more and see what it's really like.
The real question, Matt, camel toe, yes or no? That's what everyone's asking at the moment.
I was only a test server, and that's been taken out. Apparently that camel toe thing was actually in the models before Bluehole, whatever, got them, but whatever.
Yeah, it was just a purchased asset, wasn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, James, when are you buying PUBG?
Asset purchased, camel toe.
Those loot boxes these days, eh? James, when are you buying it?
I will not be buying that game, so it's fine.
Okay. Sean, you've not played Life is Strange, which baffles me.
Yeah, I haven't. It's just not had time, because it's something that me and New actually enjoy playing through together, and opportunities to do that are slim these days.
Oh God, it's so good! It's so good, and it's on our list, our Game of the Year list, and we've got no chance of playing that third episode. But then a part of me thinks, like, James, put Super Mario Odyssey up there, and against Life is Strange Before the Storm, you're going to go Super Mario Odyssey. But then if we said Super Mario Odyssey versus Life is Strange Before the Storm Episode 2, it gets harder. It actually gets harder. Okay, fine. That's it. Let's get on to questions.
Okay, well...
Last one, though, because we got to go. I'm taking it.
Well, it's all right, because we've only got one email, so it's good. It's a short one, which I really like. Okay, so... Evening, lads. Getting a bit cold now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
This is the email, not me. Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to express why I believe Zelda Breath of the Wild deserves to be Game of the Year, but also why it doesn't. The obvious reason why it doesn't really need expressing, as I'm sure you all have.
Okay.
Good argument. Right, go on.
I want to state that games such as Horizon Zero Dawn, Nier Automata, and The Evil Within 2 have been huge risks from a development point of view, which I have to admire. Being in the industry, I wish I could take huge risks with games, but alas, I have to make what the gaffer says. Which brings me to Breath of the Wild. Although spectacular, was it a risk or an obvious next step? And that's from Oodles.
I don't know how you can play through Breath of the Wild and not feel that was a risk.
It was absolutely a risk,
for sure.
I mean, it's
because I mean, it completely redesigned. It completely redesigned what Zelda was, and that could have just been a complete fuck up. The Zelda games, for me personally, had become stale and tired, and I every time I loaded a new one up, I didn't get that far because I just thought I don't want to do this all again. And don't get me wrong, they were probably good and other people enjoyed them or whatever, but I even got fatigued while playing Wind Waker when I went back to it on the Wii U. I was just like, I can't do this all again. Zelda Breath of the Wild decided to chuck that sort of the what Zelda was out of the window and completely redo it. It was such a huge risk because it could have gone bad.
There aren't even huge dungeons anymore.
No. And that was something...
Which I think is a bit of a bad point, but...
I do not miss them. But
yeah, it's open world. I mean, how much... I mean, Nintendo doing open world, I mean, that's a huge risk.
Well, yeah, I mean, as I said, Zelda games were technically open world, right?
Yeah, they had an open world, but they weren't. It wasn't a world you could really interact with, or
explore.
Like there was still like a set order. You had to do most things, and
But it's incredible, and the risks it took. I mean, I think was evident from right at the beginning where a sword broke. Like, it was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Okay, cool. Next.
Okay, so tweets. Athena Allen says, I started my first full-time job recently and I want to cry all the time. Is this normal?
Yes, it is.
I mean, it depends on the job. Like, obviously, at some point you will, like, if that's how you feel, then, like, there will come a point where you will get a job that you like a lot more. So don't worry about it. But yeah, like, if it's...
Here's a little tip, I think, right? Get this. Do you walk into work every day and think, I'm winging this, and at any moment I'm going to get called out and called into an office and saying, you don't know what the fuck you're doing? Everyone that has ever worked feels that way at all times. My boss is waiting for me to turn around to him and go, you don't know what you're doing, are you, mate? No, I'm going now. Here's the keys to the office. And likewise, I'm waiting to get a tap on the shoulder and go, David, what are you doing? I don't know. Okay, bye. Like, yeah, I mean, it's funny because Twitter and social media is full of this dream ideology of chase what you want to do. You should be working, doing something you love, and for those people that manage to do that, then fair play. That it's just not an easy thing to do, and sometimes you have to live your life doing something that isn't your main passion in life, and I would say there's far more people doing that in the world than there are people that are living the dream and following their dream and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it will get you down and sometimes it will feel horrible. But I've always, this doesn't work for everyone. My advice is not to be taken by everyone, but I've always had the attitude that no matter how shit the job, no matter how, much you dislike what you're doing in terms of compared to what you actually want to be doing as a job, just give it 100%.
Yeah.
Because you'll always come away from the end of your day thinking, do you know what? I may not like it. I may not, but if I gave it a fucking go.
And also, like
I never want to be just pissing about all day and coming home thinking, what the fuck am I doing? At least I'm coming home saying, actually, when I first started working, in this industry, I was folding plans, so I made sure that I was good at folding plans. And it sounds pathetic, but I really fucking just... So I was more satisfied when I come home, and that was it.
And also, like, the first paycheck, it's like, holy shit. That helps, doesn't it? Just realising suddenly the things you can now do and the things you can buy that previously you just had to be like, well... It's not Christmas or my birthday, so
yeah. A little thing there. Funny thing, I think it's not. You don't actually get a check. It goes straight into your bank these days.
What?
Sean lives up north.
This is because Matt's getting into Bitcoin, mate.
Fucking hell, me a big store.
I said to Matt, I hope you become a millionaire out of this, and I hope it's really successful for you. I do not have the bottle to do anything like that. Even though everything is saying, look, just fucking buy some, because at least in a week you'll have more money than you did when you first put anything in. I've not got the bottle to do that shit. Just can't do it. So my brain goes, nope. The moment I put money in, it'll go, okay, buy, it's gone now.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, but the rule is basically don't invest what you feel like you can't lose. And it's exciting, crypto. I'm well into it.
Well done. Okay. Next question,
okay.
I guess. So James, you've got an advice of...
I've got no advice. I mean, the trouble is, see, if I ever come into like a ton of money, then the first amount that's got to be spent is I've got to buy Matt a Segway. We already agreed on this.
Yeah, we have agreed on that.
Matt everything?
No, because we just thought, he would suit, a Segway would suit Matt. It was.
I think your wife said that, didn't she?
Hmm?
Your wife said it. He said.
Yeah.
Okay,
James,
what are you getting me and Dave?
Yeah, what would suit me?
You aren't getting nothing. You just rude to me constantly.
I have absolutely no... Right, okay, fine. All those free games that you get is because of me. Go on.
I was going to say, this has been Dave being nice to you, James. Now he knows there's no payday at the end of it.
Yeah.
Now he knows there's no Segway.
Bets are off now. I won't get you anything because you say some nasty things to me. No, let me finish this.
I can't imagine you on a Segway.
Let me finish this. I don't want a Segway. I can't... I'm not going to get you anything, David, because you've been nasty to me. Matt, I know you've stole the fucking box of cereal, but I'm going to buy you a Segway.
That's a good point, actually.
I was the only one with a decency to respond to Matt's tweet, so...
Go on.
Okay, Bob Bunker says, what's Sean's favourite CBeebies show?
Say that name again.
Bob Bunker.
That is the best name I've ever heard in my life. Is that legit? Bob Bunker.
Yes.
That is a fucking fantastic name. Fair play, mate. That's the sort of name I'd change mine to if I wasn't so famous.
Bob Bunker over here.
Bob Bunker over here.
I can think of another name.
Yeah, the bank jobs here, Bob Bunker. Tell me again, I'm Bob
Don't speak to
Bunker.
Bob Bunker, it's such a... What was the question?
What's Sean's favourite CBeebies show?
Oh, Sean, are you on CBeebies yet?
No,
early, isn't it?
No way.
It's not even 3 months old.
Yeah, way,
no, it's
way too early for that.
It's too early.
I mean, it's Teletubbies technically a CBeebies.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Teletubbies is good shit. So yeah, Teletubbies.
It's not. Hey Dougie is the best. And the new
Hey
series
Dougie
is off to a
brilliant,
flyer. I know the stick thing is a roll your eyes bullshit thing.
Flyer is a form of paper advertisement intended for wide distribution and typically posted or distributed in a public place.
What's going on?
Siri's just gone off.
Do you want me to keep reading?
No, Siri just went off. Okay, I don't know what that was.
That was so weird.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, it was reading the Wikipedia page out for flyers. Anyway, the stick episode of Dougie is proper roll your eyes. Oh god, they're just doing this for aren't we wacky? Still makes me laugh every time I see it. It's good. You parents know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I also like Ben and Holly's Magical Kingdom or whatever it's called.
Overrated.
See, we've moved on to CBBC now because Rachel. No, it's not that great.
At least you're not on Nick. What is it? Not Nick Jr. Nick Jr. is okay. It's Nick, the one with all the American teen sitcoms. Like there's like loads of them on there, like with laughter tracks over them. It's just awful. I'm not looking for that.
Pure Netflix these days.
Yeah, Netflix is on. Yeah, and YouTube videos, but we've discussed that.
Oh yeah, well, luckily the tablet broke, and so LED's off YouTube now, which is just
we got Asher off YouTube because it was getting ridiculous.
Yeah,
read the comments below.
I mean, like LED literally said that. I mean, I know I meant to mention it last week, but I forgot. But you were saying about Harry's faux Italian accent. LED definitely has a faux American accent. She's like, yeah, I mean, basically there's like a My Little Pony, Michael Fox in her name. I think it's called Verity. And she's like, Verity. And like, she'll say like, oh, I really want water. Like, LED's not fucking doing that.
Like Harry at the moment, because he's been watching a lot of Nick Jr., has been quoting adverts. He literally walking around the house the other day over and over again going, batteries not included. Batteries not included. And only on Nintendo Switch.
Sounds like Jeff Keighley.
yeah. Only on Nintendo Switch. I'm going to go up to him and go, fuck the Oscars! Fuck them!
Yeah,
fuck
do.
you! Right, okay.
Okay, and also, so Bob Bunker's got two questions.
God,
so it's the second one.
Classic BB.
This one's. I don't know. I think it's less good, but you're working.
Bob Bunker, we're so sorry.
See,
You're working on the localization of the computer game show JRPG. What noise would precede each presenter's dialogue box appearing on the screen?
James would be when he talks about anime.
James would be or whatever he did earlier today.
No, it's that is. Sean's would be.
My personality in a noise, brilliant.
Matt would be, I don't know, that sound that they like.
What is that?
That's they used to have it in music all the time, didn't they?
Well, the air horn.
Yeah, the air horn thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not current, but Matt thinks it is. So you know what I mean? Like he's always trying to keep up with the kids, but he's still a bit of a dad. Mine would probably just be a burp, wouldn't it?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Matt, James wants to move on.
Darrow M85 says, first of all, welcome back, Sean. We all know this year has been excellent for games, so I'm wondering what games, if any, disappointed you in 2017?
We're not doing the sound effect question anymore.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. No, I don't think I can think of any. It's just been pretty fucking flawless, hasn't it? It's been ridiculous.
Someone reminded me when this question come up last week or the week before. Someone sent me a message saying, I thought you would have said Mafia 2, and that is bang on. I was really not Mafia 2, Mafia 3. Yeah. I was really disappointed with Mafia 3, especially because it started so well, and then it just shit the bed.
Is Mass Effect Andromeda not on your list, Sean?
We both
I quite enjoyed it, man. Yeah, it had problems, but
absolute monsters.
Right.
We're the two.
Yeah.
Was it you, Sean, that texted me and said, one complaint about Mass Effect, I turned down anti-gravity sex. I'm sure it was you that said that.
Yep. I had anti-gravity sex, I think.
Oh, right, okay. Well, that's...
He turned down regular sex.
Yeah. I'm not interested unless it's anti-grav, mate. I'm
with his wife.
Oh, that's not... Because...
Let's get on the vomit.
Next question.
I Am Jambo says, what was your biggest gaming surprise of 2017?
What? I'm laughing.
What was your biggest gaming surprise of 2017?
Well, Zelda.
Yeah, like we were all excited, but I think... But to
No, we weren't.
Were we not?
I think...
Do you remember my attitude towards it, like leading up to it? Every time you would talk about a video, I was saying I don't care. And then when we went to the Nintendo Switch event at the start of the year, you all rushed off to play Zelda, and I was like, I'm not interested.
No, we sort of rushed
Zelda.
off and saw that there was a massive queue, and we're like, do you know what? I can wait.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is that you were clearly excited about it, and I just did not give a shit. I did not understand why people were excited about it when it first came out, and you were raving about it. I was assuming that you were just overrating it, and it come out, and it was one of the best games I've ever played.
I think,
like, it really blew me away.
I think just the Switch in general has been fucking brilliant. Has been a big surprise.
Do you remember after that announcement at the start of the year, and we were all like, "What the fuck are they doing?" And there's still shades of that. There's still.
I was playing it on playing Mario on the weekend, and just it's still just cool as fuck to play this either on the TV or in handheld, and I'm still even now haven't quite got over how good that is, and the screen is great, and I just love the device. I think I'll text you at the Dave and James. I said, oh, Mario, I mean, Jesus Christ, and you're like, what have you just done? Like, expecting me to have finished it. I was like, nothing, I've just got another moon, but my God, it's just so good.
There is one complaint. There is one big complaint with Mario that I haven't expressed on this show yet, but every time it happens, I get fucked off. If you put the whole of the Cappy store uniform on, you don't get a discount in the store. Come on, that should instantly happen. 10% off when you're wearing that uniform, because it's horrendous and you've got no reason to wear that thing other than to burn your eyes. The rest of the game, perfect. It's a good game.
I like that game. James.
Okay, Oodles of Quim says, I'd just like to know if Captain Toss has had a little cry yet. Being a parent is hard, but lovely anyway. Have you done that, Sean?
I've not had a cry, no. I mean, it's been fucking close. But no.
And then he says, your favourite stream or streamer of the year? I think that's to all of us, maybe.
James Farley.
It's probably James Farley, isn't it?
Are you watching much Twitch stuff, Sean?
No, none.
But when I first had Elodie, because I didn't really have any time for gaming, I was mostly watching loads of stuff on Twitch, because that was like a way to see what games were out and whatnot. So I was watching loads back then.
You know that Matt's done the gargoyles, right?
Oh, have you? Nice one.
He has. And last night he was all downhearted because he was like, "Oh, it feels bad because I barely did anything because I summoned." And I'm like, Matt, the first thing you've got to do is worry about how you beat the bosses.
We've got a question about that, haven't we?
You just beat the bosses. Like, that's what I will. Yeah, okay, we'll come back to this then. Fine. But Matt is doing very well with his streams as well, so it's not a runaway victory for James. But yeah, James
Sean doesn't even know what we're talking about.
What?
No, I know you're doing Dark Souls.
No, but James, we had a bet.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, you don't know about the bet?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
No shows, Dave. Of course.
Oh, right, sorry. Yeah, so James, for some mad reason, I still can't believe you did this, bet me £10 that Matt would give up at the Capra Demon.
Okay.
See, the thing is I completely forgot that he can summon look up guides and do all that kind of stuff.
Hold on.
I couldn't do.
You can't summon for the Capra Demon.
Can you not? Okay.
Don't think you can.
Yeah, you can.
Can you?
I haven't. So this summoning thing. So I was playing yesterday. I started Andre's bonfire, near Andre, that bonfire there, and I'd obviously heard about the gargoyles. You tweeted about it yesterday, Dave, saying maybe Matt we playing it tonight, and so I knew it was in the vicinity. I didn't think I'd beat them, but I got up there and lost a few times. Then I was like, well, it would be good to do it tonight, and then people were like, well, just summon. And I tried loads of times. I had some weird bugs. At one point, I summoned Solaire, but he was busy fighting all the other guys just in front of the door, so he didn't come through. Another time he came through, but got stuck in the door. Another time, someone said I got invaded, but I'm not sure. But either way, I just got destroyed. And I was on my last bit of humanity, and I summoned a human player who smashed everything, and then I also summoned Solaire. And did it, but it definitely does feel like a hollow victory.
Yep. Well, you should get that feeling out of your head, Matt, because especially with the gargoyles, the whole point is that you summon for that fight. Right. Okay.
It gives you I was talking to John today. He says it basically it is the tutorial for summoning.
Yeah.
But what's stopping me summoning for every boss and just making it easy?
Well, you won't be, because there'll still be loads of shit in that game that will be extremely hard. The whole point is that you get through how you get through. That's it.
But you can summon for every boss, right?
Is valid, because the game is just that much of a fucker.
When I did the Ornstein and Smo thing, I summoned for that, and it didn't help in the slightest, and I ended up just doing it myself.
Well, I did not do it myself. I summoned for that and watched him do it, and I still feel that I've got unfinished business there, but fine.
I feel like even with just the gargoyles, really.
I summoned for the gargoyles, and it just was not a problem. I didn't care. I did not care, because that genuinely feels that they've chucked 2 bosses at you. There should be 2 of you fighting it, and just before you go there's a character that goes, "Why don't you summon? It's good." Right, and okay, I'll summon then. Sorted.
Anyway, I rang my first bell. I'm very happy about that.
On to Capra.
Next thing.
It is Capra next, right?
Everyone kept saying the butterfly.
No. I wouldn't go to the butterfly.
You can, but
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go to butterfly next. No way. Also, everyone says. How many times I've said don't listen to the chat? Do you know, Sean? Last night they were telling him to go in naked against the gargoyles, and not use the shield. Go in shieldless and naked.
That does work for some people.
It works for people that have played it a lot. It doesn't work for someone going for the first time, does it? Ridiculous. Don't listen to them, Matt.
Anyway, we'll go through it.
Yeah. See, after watching you play, Matt, that's when I said, I text Dave, and I was just like, I should just send you this £10 now, because you're doing really well. And it's,
but that's not to say, if Capra is an absolute nightmare. So, are you saying Capra will be the next boss I probably run into?
Oh yeah, I'd have thought so. And he's not really a boss either. So, but he'll be the next bit that you need to do that you'll get stuck on.
All right, okay.
Some people do. Some people totally don't get what the fuss is with Capra.
No, I was all right. I did it my 4th or 5th time. I didn't have a problem with it. But James and John had near breakdowns with it.
Yeah. Oh, and if you do have a bad time with it, Matt, please ignore anyone going, and he's just a normal enemy later on, because
it's wildly different later.
It's the environment. It's not him.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm definitely enjoying it so far.
Good game.
Fun.
It's a very good game.
Very, very good game.
Okay, next.
Okay, Bob Bunker's back.
My boy.
Okay, so he says, this one's for Captain Toss, or Sean. In light of all the recent patches updating games to run in 4K with HDR, what game or series of games would Sean most like to see getting this mid-generation remastering treatment?
Do it.
Quite a big fan of the Electronic Arts Skate games.
It's already happened, mate. Already happened, baby.
I know. But yeah, but they've not had a 4K do-over, have they? I need them pixels.
Yeah, it is 4K.
Is it? Oh, well, there you go then. Wish granted.
You should have bought an Xbox, Sean.
It's over. all those times.
I'll fucking emulate it on my laptop. It'll be fine.
Next.
Okay, Louis Belfort says, following Matt raising the issue in the stream, what's Dave's feeling about summoning in Dark Souls? We've already talked about this. I should have
why
cut
did
it
you
out.
read that
I'm
out,
sorry.
James?
It's,
Fuck that up, didn't we?
No, we didn't.
Yes, I did. And again, I will make a full and frank apology for that. Okay, that's it. We're done.
He's deleted it from the document.
Oh, yeah.
It never happened, lads. It's gone.
Matt, let's hear your apology for stealing cereal and get out of there.
I have no apology to make. I will not make a full and frank apology until I've tasted some, and I'll send the rest to you.
Absolute scum.
Well, I'll keep the whole box in, mate.
All right, well, as I say, it's not me that wants it. It's my 3-year-old son. Oh, go on.
Well, he can have it after.
Okay.
Anyway.
Can we just round this up? Because I want to go to bed. It's
All right.
Ooh. Well, actually, I've got another game to talk about.
Matt.
Civilization.
I
Okay,
do
so
want
go to
Monster
the
on the
YouTube
chat if you
channel.
want.
We've got highlights of we've got a video of my Dark Souls stream, and we've got episodes all on our YouTube channel, and probably some other bits here and there.
Yeah,
coming up.
I need to apologise for not getting around to updating the James's streams, the highlights for that. I've been insanely busy and all over the place, so I will get that done. Hopefully, back this week. He's already finished the game, but you know.
As a nut. Obviously, you can go to our Twitch channel to follow us to watch the Sunday Night Dark Souls every Sunday night at 9 o'clock. Go to twitch.tv/The Computer Game Show. You can like us and follow us and do all that usual stuff over there. We're also on Twitter on every podcast service known to man. So, particularly Apple Podcasts, go over there, leave us a 5-star review. That would be amazing. And tell your friends about the show. That's what we want. We want as many people listening as possible.
Thank you for listening. Welcome back, Sean. It's good to have you back, mate.
It is good.
And although it's only for 2
nice.
weeks, next week is going to be a lot of fun.
You see, I thought it'd be, because I know we talked about me just sort of, like, I don't know, clever ways of me doing the draft without having to actually come on, but I wanted to do just like a relatively normal episode before the fucking horror show.
Get back in the swing of things.
Happens.
Otherwise, you're just like, jumping in at the deep end. You're going to drown. It's, Thanks for living it. We will see you next week for our Game of the Year show. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.